Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Abby and I like to talk about spooky things. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 36 Glitch in the Matrix TikToks. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, click the subscribe button down below, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I post every Sunday and most Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. I do apologize that this video is coming to you on a Thursday. Been a wacky week, but I still wanted to get a second video out to you guys this week. Also, let me know if Wednesdays are a good day for me to post my second video. YouTube just sent me some updated analytics and said that people are most active on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which makes sense. Is there a day that you guys would prefer a second upload? I'm gonna keep the Sunday upload, but is there a day other than Wednesday that you guys would prefer for a second upload? Let me know. And real quick, before we get into the video, I want to remind you guys one more time that my mom has an Etsy shop. She makes wine glass charms, ornaments, little bits and bobs like that. The perfect kind of little small Christmas gift to somebody. The perfect little small Christmas gift to give to somebody or get for yourself. Just want to, again, mention it because she works really hard in her shop, and just want to mention it one last time because she works really hard in her shop, and I feel like it is something that you guys will really like if you go and check it out. Her link is down below, and her Etsy shop name is Seven Gables Designs. And now, without further ado, let's get right on into the video. Our first 5 TikToks are by the user Disinotra.
Okay, that's it. I decided to share my Glitch in the Matrix stories here on TikTok. And I must say I'm a little bit nervous because not only did I try sharing them on YouTube and nobody cared, but also they are so crazy and so many from early on in my childhood that it's like, I already know that at least 90% of you are not going to believe me. It's too crazy. You're going to be like, yeah, right. You live in some type of slits in this universe on this planet where it's only Glitch in the Matrix happening or something. But you know what? I don't care anymore. Especially right now, I see so many stories coming out. I'm like, if not now, when then? This is the time right now. So I'm going to start sharing this with you. So today I'm going to share a really short story. It's one of the early ones I can remember. It was when I was a child. To be exact, I was 5 years old. And I know that for sure because that was when my mom was in the hospital because my brother was born. So I was 5 years old and I was alone at home with my dad. Okay. And then, we were hanging out and stuff. And all of a sudden my dad says to me, "Cutie, you know what? I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go down the street and get some milk for us." Okay. And I was like, okay. And I was a little bit nervous because usually he doesn't really let me alone like that, And then, and now when I think about it, it's a little bit irresponsible from him. Irresponsible. Can I not talk anymore? Irresponsible from him, but typical dad, right? Especially back in the days, that's a long time ago when we were still out in the streets with no supervision until it got dark. Okay, that's how long ago it is. Anyway, so I was there with him at home, and he said he's gonna get some milk. And then, it's like this. There's like a little hallway like this, and it goes around the corner like this, and I was standing right there at the corner. And the door of our apartment was right there, right? And he was standing in the door, and he was, the door was open like this towards me, and he was like, "Okay, cutie, you know what? I'm gonna be right back, okay? I love you, I'm gonna be right back." I'm like, okay, and I'm standing there, and the door closes, and boom, it opens again, and he's there with the milk in his hand. And I'm like, yeah, right. He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "Yeah, come on, you're pranking me, right?" And he's like, "What do you mean pranking you?" And I'm like, "The milk was outside in the hallway, wasn't it?" And he's like, "No." And I was sure he was pranking me. And I even had like a hard time to explain it because after all, I was only 5 years old. And I'm explaining to him, I'm at the same spot. Do you not realize that I'm at the same exact spot? Right? And he's like, "I guess so, And throughout all the years, like I asked him maybe every like 2 or 3 years, I kept asking him again. Blah, blah, I can't speak anymore. Kept asking him again and again and again. The last time was maybe like 3 years ago. I asked him again. And I even got really serious at times. And I'm like, "Dad, did you prank me?" And he's like, "No, I promise I didn't prank you." And he wouldn't do that to me, let me think I'm crazy like that if I'm already seriously asking him. And, you know, after all these years, I still don't understand what that was. I really don't. You will see with all my stories that I'm about to tell, all these crazy stories, there's always some type of theoretical theory of what it could maybe be, you know. But with this one, I have no clue. And it's not like I blanked out or something. It's not that like I spaced out or something. And I was a pretty aware child, you know. My dad used to always do like these meditations with us and ask us about like the width of the universe, how big it is to think about it, to comprehend these type of things, you know. So he made me pretty aware pretty early on, but I have no clue what that was. But I know for sure I didn't space out or something, you know. So if anything like that happened to any one of you ever, or if you have any idea what that could have been, I don't know, please let me know. I'm so sick and tired of being alone with those feelings and those experiences. That's also a reason why I'm sharing. Okay, anyway, much love to everyone. Stay focused and have a blessed now, since that's all there is. Peace. Okay, what's up, guys? I'm back with my next Glitch in the Matrix story. Okay, but first I have to say, guys, I'm so grateful to not be alone anymore. Guys, thank you so much for like telling me your stories and for, you know, sharing your theories with me and everything. You can't imagine how it is walking around alone with like all these experiences, hundreds of experiences. I'm telling you, I could tell you stories for days and, you know, nobody being interested and just being alone with that, right? Anyway, let's get to the story. So the next story is again going to be actually two short little stories. I'm going to keep it with the short stories for the beginning. And this one has a witness, okay? So I figured that it's probably important to like tell stories that have witnesses, you know, just so you can see that I'm not tripping, okay? So this story happened in LA. I used to live 10 years in LA and I was dating this guy for a couple of weeks. And he used to be an Uber driver and he picked me up and we were sitting in his car, right? I don't remember where we were going to. And I had a water bottle, right? A round one. A big one like this, but round, right? And, you know, I wanted to put it away and I put it into the little, like, you would maybe call it nook in the car. You know, there's like this pocket in the car door, but some cars have like a little rounding, like a nook for the bottle, right? So I put it there and he was like, hold on, where did you put the bottle? I'm like, right there in that little nook. And I'm like, right? I also just figured out that cars have that, right? And he was like, wait a minute. I've never seen that in my car. And I'm like, I know. It's because most people don't know that the cars have that, right? And he's like, what? And he checked on his side and he has it too. And he's like, I swear my car didn't have that. And I'm like, you probably didn't pay attention. You know how it is, right? So that was that, right? The next day I came back with my water bottle again. Not the same one, a new one, right? And I wanted to put it back into the nook again. And I'm like, wait, am I tripping? The nook was gone, right? The little cutout for the bottle was gone. And I'm like, dude, where is the little nook for the bottle, right? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm telling you, we were just freaking blown away because the nook for the bottle was gone. In his car that he drives every day. Very, very, very bizarre. Okay, so I was wondering my theories, right? My theories are that, you know, in his reality, that never existed. So I came in and I just assumed that every car has this little nook. So that's just theory, maybe why it manifested or materialized in the moment I was there. And then when I left the car, his reality and subconscious belief about his car took over. And that's why it dematerialized again. I don't know. That's just a theory. You guys, please let me know what you think. The second thing that happened with the same guy was, again, we were hanging out. This was another day, right? And all of a sudden, my cycle started, right? And it came out of nowhere. And I was like, God damn, you know, like, and I said, and, you know, we were far away, like close to the beach, far away from a store. And it was like, let me check. I must have one somewhere, right? So I checked my purse. And at that time, I used these little things here as makeup purses, right? And I had the same exact one with a Superman thing on it, right? And there was, you know, they're not too deep, right? It's like, there's not too much in there. I'm not going to show you all this crazy stuff that's in here, right? But, you know, there's like, you know, a little tweezer and stuff. I don't use a lot of makeup, like things like this, small little stuff, right? And usually there should be a tampon in there, right? So I'm checking, and there's no tampon. And I keep going like, no, there must be a tampon. And he's standing right next to me. And he's like, stop tripping. We got to go to the store. There's none in there. Like, I mean, I see it. How long do you want to look? And he started making fun of me. As a matter of fact, he actually started getting annoyed because I didn't stop doing this, right? But for some weird reason, I was just determined that I'm going to find one. I can't explain that feeling. I tried to recreate it again later on just to make something like this happen again, because I felt there was a different feeling than usual. I just didn't want to give up. I was like, there is going to be one in there. And I kept looking. And I'm telling you, suddenly, let's say that's the tampon, right? Suddenly, that was crazy. It went like, bloop. That feeling was so nuts. It's like, bloop, it just came out of thin air. I'm telling you, we both started screaming. We started screaming. He was like, what? Whoa, right? But then also he wasn't surprised because he saw so many things happening in my presence, right? He was like, you are creepy, you know? But I was blown away because, you know, that's why I tried to recreate it. I was like, wait a minute, how did I do that, you know? How did I do that? Anyway, what do you guys think? You think I materialized that, you know? What's happening with the thing with the bottle? What's going on? Tell me what you think, guys. I have no clue. Again, I think, you know, I have some smart ideas what it could be, but there's never, you know, with all of these things I'm about to tell you, some things that go along with ghost stories or mediumship or whatever you want to call it, channeling, I don't know, all sorts of stuff, materializations, whatnot, I can never really explain what it is. You know, I have no 100% certainty what it could be. You know, I'm totally into quantum physics and stuff. I'm really into this, but, you know, what is that? What is it? Much love to you. Stay focused and have a blessed now, since that's all there is. Okay, here comes my third glitch in the matrix story. First of all, thank you again for listening to me, for not making fun of me, for liking my stories. I really appreciate it, and I have so many more to come, trust and believe. Now, this story here, some people would maybe call is like a ghost story, but to me that's still a glitch in the matrix story because I'm not sure if it was really a ghost, in this case the ghost of my mom, or if it was me doing some type of telekinesis by expecting something to happen. I'm not sure. So my mom passed away 2 days before my 25th birthday. Okay, this is a long time ago. I'm not going to give away my age, but this day is amazing. It became my lucky day. Seriously, it's 11/22. It became my lucky numbers and my lucky day. And so many amazing things happened on her passing day. That's a whole story on its own. And I'm going to tell you about those stories too. Unbelievable. You wouldn't believe the things that happened on her passing day. Almost every year, right? Anyway, so these bracelets, my mom used to wear these bracelets every day, and I also almost wear them every day, right? At that time, I still lived in LA, and I was dating a guy for about 2 years, and I slept over at his place, and I put these bracelets down on the, I don't know what you call it, side table beside the bed, right? Like this. And at that time, I had like this thing where I would ask my mom for a sign, right? I would be like, Mom, give me a sign. And 9 out of 10 times, something would happen. It almost became like a party trick, right? So we talked about it and I was all excited about it. And I told him, look, I'm going to show you something. Mom, give me a sign. And he was like, no, I couldn't even finish the sentence. He freaked completely out. He was like, no, please, no. I'm so scared of this stuff. We're about to go to bed. I'm so scared. And I was like, if anything, it's my mom. If anything, right? If it's not me doing that, if anything, it's my mom. Why are you scared? He's like, no, please don't do it, right? Don't do it. And I was like, okay. And I must admit, I was a little bit disappointed, right? I was a little bit like, you know, how lame that he doesn't want to see that trick, right? And then we laid down, we were quiet, and not even a minute passed. And I felt that, you know, I already spoke it out. So this energy was still there for some weird reason. It was just like in the air, right? So in my mind, I said, sorry, I already like turned the fire on, basically. I'm like, Mom, give me a sign. And in my mind, I said that. And all of a sudden, the heater in his house went like this. You know, like that. And I was like, whoa, it happened immediately when I said it. But I was like, nah, you know, that could also be my subconscious mind asking the question exactly when the interval of this heater makes this sound. Because that sound happened every once in a while. And our subconscious minds are super strong. So maybe it was my subconscious mind knowing when the interval is and when it happens again. And I asked that at that moment, right? So I was like, nah. I said, Mom, that's not it. I need a real sign. Give me a real sign. And guess what happened? Her freaking bracelets, I bring this book to explain, were laying like this, right? On that table. And suddenly I said again, Mom, I need a real sign. And it was like this. I swear. And I started screaming. I was like, whoa! Right? And he was like, what was that? What was that? He was like so scared, right? And I was, whoa, my heart was so full, right? I was like, holy crap. Out of all things, her flipping bracelets, right? Come on, dude. He was so scared, right? But I was like, that was the best ever, right? But still, I don't know. Was that really the ghost of my mom? Or was that me in combination with him being scared that something happens? Because you know how it is when you're scared that something happens, it's going to definitely happen. And in combination with me thinking, you know, something's going to happen. And I, you know, manifested it. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys know. And there's so many more stories like this about to come, and I'll tell you tomorrow. But let me know, what do you think, guys? Was it my mom or was it us making this happen? Much love to everyone. Stay focused and have a blessed now, since that's all there is. Peace. Okay, what's up, guys? Here comes my next glitch in the Matrix story. Or maybe in this case, more of a, I don't know, angel in the Matrix story or something. I have no clue. You guys gonna have to explain it to me because I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, so, and forgive me for speaking a little bit fast because now we're getting into the longer story, so I'm going to try to get through it fast, okay? Now, this story takes place in Koreatown, LA, and I must say before I get into it, what I'm about to tell you happened to me 3 times. And the last one is the one that's the most significant. What I'm about to tell you, the story is the last one, and this is also the reason why then I started noticing, only after the 3rd time, how lame, I started noticing like, something is going on here, right? Like something is up because that's not normal that it happened 3 times, okay? So what happened was the following. I lived in Koreatown in LA, and it was one of those days where I was really grumpy, right? Because nothing was going my way, and I was still so naive to like not understanding how the universe actually listens to us and how fast it interacts with us. And I was so, now if I look back, so stupid, and I was so angry, and I was like screaming at the universe in my mind, right? And I was like, this is how you treat me, blah blah. And then I literally said, this is how you treat me? Okay, bring it on then. Boo, I know you can throw tomatoes at me. I literally said, bring it on, right? And the universe was like, oh really? Okay then. Right? Okay. So I'm leaving the house right after I had this screaming match with the universe in my mind, right? I'm leaving the house. I'm about to meet my friends, and I'm stomping down the street like, nothing is going my way, right? And I put my headphones in and have music on blast, right? You know how it is, really like grumpy and music is on blast, right? And I lived at Catalina and 3rd Street. 3rd Street is like a super busy street. Catalina is a smaller street. And I walked down Catalina, approaching the, intersection. I'm on the left side. And on the other side of the street, I see a girl in distress, right? On the other side of 3rd Street. I'm just like, is she okay, right? And I see the girl, she's turned to me like this way, right? And she's like, rah, 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 screaming with her phone in her hand. She's like, rah, rah, screaming. And you know, like girl instincts, I saw something is really serious, right? But I'm like, is she screaming into her phone? Again, my music's on blast. I see that she's screaming, but I don't hear anything, right? I didn't even hear the traffic. So I'm just like, what's going on, right? And I'm approaching her, and just when I was about to pass her, right? Like she turns to me and she's like, and she just keeps walking, right? And I'm giving her the look real quick, like, girl, are you okay, right? And she's just giving me this like crazy scared look, and she just passes me, right? And I'm just like, that was weird, you know? And she didn't look crazy. You know, in LA, there's a bunch of crazy people. So I'm like, You know, she's probably fighting with her boyfriend on her phone. I don't know. So I keep walking like an idiot. Keep walking, right? So then all of a sudden, under my loud music, right, I hear, hey, really aggressive. Like I hear it from somewhere here, right? And I'm just like, what the heck? And I turn around and I see on the other side of the street, the side that the girl was turned to, right? There's a whole bunch of guys in wife beaters and with beers in their hand. Like older guys, not hot guys, right? Like older, I don't know, Mexican guys, all mixed guys, right? With wife beaters. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's what she was screaming at, right? Like these effing idiots, right? And I was at that time, I hated when guys would holler at me like this in this scary way. So I would just like sometimes approach them and give them like the auntie speech, you know, like the do you have kids? Do you have girls? Do you have sisters? Do you know how scary that is? Blah, 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 you know, like this. But I was like, you know what, don't say anything. Because after all, there were like 5 or I don't know, 7 guys or something, a bunch of guys, and they looked kind of scary. So I was like, and the girl was so in distress. So I was like, just keep walking, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I keep walking. And the street is not getting lighter. It's getting like darker down this way, right? So I keep walking. All of a sudden I hear again, hey, right? Like more aggressive. And instead of turning around and getting out of this dark street, I just keep walking. I'm just like, you know what? Just keep ignoring them. Just keep ignoring them. And it happens a third time, right? Again, wait, like more angry. And I, idiot, I snapped, right? I was like, okay, I'm gonna give them the freaking auntie speech. And I take my headphone out and, you know, again, like Catalina is like a quiet street. So I turn around, immediately walk across the street. There's almost no traffic and I walk towards them, right? And I'm just like, and I immediately start screaming in trouble mode, right? And all of a sudden I see one of the guys is approaching me, right? With his wife beater on and he has a baseball bat in his hand. Oh my God. He's like walking towards me and he's like, what you say, girl? What you say? Right, with his baseball bat. And I'm just like, holy Crispos, right? But for some weird reason, I don't know, guys, please don't take anything as advice. I don't know what was happening with me. Somewhere in my instinct told me, if you run now, you're screwed. I don't know why. It was just 100% knowing. If you run now, you're screwed. So I kept walking towards him. Blah, 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 right? Like so stupid. Oh my God. And all of a sudden, and again, this happened the third time to me, the guy with his baseball bat like looks at me and all of a sudden he looks over my left shoulder, like up here. He looked up here. I'm 5'7", right? He looked up here. And he walks towards me and he looks to my up my left shoulder and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it this way. And he walks backwards, right? And I'm like, I don't know why, guys. It's so weird that what my brain made up this story in this weird like thing. You know how the thoughts go in like a second. In my brain, I was like, somehow I thought, you know, there was a guy in the house behind me and he saw what happened with the girl before me and he came down to rescue us, right? Because after all, the guy was looking up here. So I was convinced, 100% convinced that there was a guy that came to rescue me, right? Like a tall guy. So I don't know why I made up this story. I think it was a shock or something. So I'm like over here, right? Like I have my headphones in my hand and I'm like, exactly, that's what I thought. And I turn around and I want to smile at the guy, right? They came to rescue me and I turn around and I'm like, huh? There was nobody, right? And I'm just like, hold on a second. This is the third time that happened. What the heck? That is weird, right? Anyway, I keep walking. I called the cops and the cops were actually coming down the street already. So I'm guessing the girl before me called the cops. Totally weird. Now, the first time it happened, I was working on 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, and I was working at this place, and I was the closer, so I closed everything down, and it was quiet on the street already, nobody was there, and I walked out, and it was a homeless guy, and he walked up towards me, and he started screaming, and he threw his drink at me, right? And it was weird, because at that time, that kind of happened often to me, that like homeless guys would scream at me, and my coworker kept saying, it's your light, man. The darkness can't stand the light. And because he told me that, I started believing it even more. So obviously then it happened even more, right? So the homeless guy screams at me. I'm like, oh my God, one of these situations again. And he throws his drink at me. He screams and the same thing. He looks up here And he's like, whoa, oh, I'm so sorry. And he almost falls on his hiney, right? And I'm like, he's drunk, right? I saw what happened. I saw where he looked up, but I didn't even turn around because I was like, he's obviously on drugs, right? And then the second time it happened was also in a Koreatown shortly before the one incident happened I just told you about. And I was so naive, walking down the street, taking my walks at 11:30 at night somewhere in the back streets of Koreatown, like so stupid, not even on the phone with my friend or something, music in my ear. And a car stopped beside me, right? And the guy stopped and he was like, rah, screaming at me in something in Asian, right? We're in Koreatown, screaming at me. I thought he was saying something like, get in the car or something like, rah, right? And I was like, excuse me? And the same thing. He went like, rah. He looked over my left shoulder and was like, I'm so sorry, in English. I'm so sorry. And he skirted away. Huh? And after it happened the third time with those wife beater guys, I'm like, okay, that's flipping weird, right? So sorry if that was a long story. Please, guys, tell me what you think. What's that all about now, right? I mean, and if something like that happened to you, please let me know. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for not making fun of me and for sharing your stories with me and for listening to me. Much love to you. Stay focused and have a blessed now, since that's all there is. Okay, here we go with yet another glitch in the matrix story that I experienced. Or I don't know, this one might be a straight up Mandela effect. Or I don't know, or maybe I materialized it out of my subconscious wishes. No clue, you guys have to let me know. And this is a really short story, luckily, probably the shortest one I can tell. It's about this watch here, okay? Now, I used to wear this watch every day for 5 years at that point, when the story I'm about to tell you, right? And one day I looked down at my watch and I'm like, I looked down at my watch and the dialer, you see the dialer is not centered? The dialer is not centered anymore. It's off center like this, right? And now you're probably thinking like, wait for it, okay? You see how the dialer is not centered? Now, back in the days, right, especially when I was younger, I used to be such a off-center style girl, right? I used to wear everything off-center. Like my hair was to the side. I used to have different size earrings. Like my belt buckle was always on to the side, right? As a matter of fact, I even wore a red eyebrow for almost 10 years, right? It was so red that it glue in the club, you know, when, I don't know how you call it, this like blue light, black light, it used to glow. I was such a off-center style girl, right? Actually, if I would be like this today still, I would have worn my necklace like this and it would have to stay like this, right? That's how much I used to be like an off-center style girl, right? Now, when I bought this watch, okay, I used to work at Hollywood Boulevard in the mall. And then one of our neighbor stores was this store called Chili's or something. I'm not really sure. Chili's or Chili. And they used to have different watches, right? And when I decided to buy a watch, right, I used to go into the store every day, like for, you know, a whole week or something, trying to decide. And I couldn't decide. And the day I bought this watch, I was in the store for like 1.5 hours. And I couldn't decide, right? And the only reason why I picked this watch was because of the color, right? That pinkish type of hue and the pink circle. Because the other watches, I liked them more because they had like more stuff going on. You know what I mean? They were like more stuff was going on, but I didn't like the colors so much. So I was like, you know what? This one is a little bit boring, but I'm gonna take this watch, right? Because of the pink color. Now, if I would have seen any watch that has anything off center, specifically the dialer, right? I would have picked that watch right away, no matter if I liked the colors or not. Okay, that's how much of an off-center style girl I was. So you're trying to tell me that I didn't see that the dialer was off-center the day I bought it? No, I didn't see it that day. But for 5 years, looking at the watch every day, and I used to be obsessed with this watch, right? I used to look at it all the time. The first 3 years, I used to look at it every 3 minutes, like this, right? You're trying to tell me I didn't notice that the freaking dialer is off-center? There is No way. I would have not noticed that earlier. Okay? So, I still today, till today it confuses me. I'm not sure what that's all about. So you guys let me know. Do you think this is a glitch in the matrix? Do you think this is a Mandela effect? Do you think I materialized that? Because, you know, if I would have designed that watch, I would have designed it exactly like that. I have no clue. You guys let me know. Much love to everyone. Stay focused and have a blessed now, since that's all there is.
From all of these videos, it definitely does sound like she's very spiritually in tune, because it seems like a lot of these things kind of happen to her. I do think the one about her mom's bracelets is probably more of a paranormal thing than a glitch in the matrix thing. But the one specifically that I want to talk about is her saying that an angel's protecting her. I'm also potentially thinking that the one about the angel protecting her is just that, an angel protecting her. Not to be a Debbie Downer here, but let this be a PSA that you have to be aware of your surroundings wherever you go. Like, there's no need to be paranoid necessarily, but you should keep your head on a swivel. You know, be aware of your surroundings. Don't have your headphones in. Don't be on your phone. Be aware of your surroundings, because it is so easy to end up in a bad situation or have something bad happen to you if you have your headphones in, if you're on your phone, if you're not paying attention to what's going on around you. And hearing her tell this story, I am horrified. I mean, I'm probably a little more aware than most because I do have anxiety, but oh my God, like the things she's saying is like, that is like rule number one of what not to do when you are out. You need to be aware of your surroundings, and she is so lucky. I do think that there was some kind of spiritual intervention there, because it seems like she could have ended up in a really dangerous or life-threatening situation on multiple occasions. And, you know, it's certainly not her fault that there's crazy people out there, but there are crazy people out there. So unfortunately, to protect yourself, you have to be aware, you have to be paying attention, and it's best not to engage with those people because you can incite them and make it worse. It's best to just skedaddle, leave the area. And again, be aware of your surroundings. I'm like, listening to that story, I was like smacking my forehead. I was like, this is so dangerous. But yeah, I definitely think that she is more spiritually in tune, and people who are more spiritually in tune are more likely to experience both paranormal activity and kind of weird timeline glitches. I think it's easier to notice, and or it's more likely to happen to you because of it. And it seems like that's what's going on here. Our next TikTok's with user, Mrs. Motivated 2025.
There's a scientist that just came out saying that he knows that we're living in a simulation. So I'm gonna tell you a story that I've never told anybody. And when I read this, I was like, it makes so much sense. I never told anybody this story because I was scared people were gonna look at me like I'm fucking crazy. And I'm already fucking crazy. So I was like, they're just gonna, you know, at the time I was like 28, I was like 18, 19. Okay, I was 18, 19. So I was like, for sure, I was like, my mom's gonna put me in the nut hut. So I didn't tell anybody. So now's the time because, you know, I was sitting in my vehicle. This is my first vehicle, okay? It's a Chrysler Alero, I don't know. It was so cute. I'm sitting in my car, and it's before I had to go into work, okay? Windows are rolled up. And I worked at a restaurant at the time. We won't say which one, but I'm waiting in the parking lot. And I noticed that I can hear a buzzing in my car. Like it's a bug buzzing. And I'm like, God, that sounds like a bee. Like, you know, you can hear it like, and I'm like, so I turn everything down. And I'm like, there's definitely a bee in here. So next thing you know, I see a bee and it flies and it goes on my dash. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to kill this because I'm allergic to bees. I can't do bees. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to kill this bee. I get this piece of paper that I had on my passenger seat. Not sure what kind of paper. I rolled it up. He's sitting on my dash. I hit him. Okay, I see with my two eyes. And at that time, I'm young, 20/20 vision, okay? I swat him I hit him. He is dead, okay? I bring up my paper and I look and there's nothing there. Nothing. No evidence of a bee. So in my head, I'm looking at this paper and I'm looking at the dash and I'm like, am I losing it? I might be. But I told myself, Melinda, no, it went somewhere. Like, your vision is not as good as you think. It went somewhere. And I said, all right, well, this is weird. So I just sat there because I'm like, I don't hear the buzzing anymore. It is what it is. I'm playing on my phone, okay? Just playing on my phone. I hear buzzing again. This is about 5 minutes later. And I'm like, the fuck is that noise? I'm like, oh my God, he's still alive. He comes. It was almost like deja vu. If y'all ever had some deja vu, same way. Comes up, lands on the dash. I grab the paper again. I smash. I know this time. I fucking know I made contact. I know it. And I kept the paper there and I'm like, I know, because I can hear the buzzing still, like he's dying. And I'm like, yes, this is it. This is it. I pull the paper up. There is nothing there. I look, I'm like, oh, what is going on? I remember that day thinking, what's going on? Am I living in is this a glitch in the Matrix? And that story I never told anybody until just now. And so when I see that, just now I'm reading top lines or whatever, you know, when you scroll over on your iPhone and it's like top news. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it is a simulation, but I'm here for it. I mean, what do we do? You know, if I can ride the wave.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there's definitely a chance that she swatted at it and it just flew away before she was able to get it. I mean, bugs are sneaky. You know, you run away to get a paper towel and it's gone forever. So I think there's a chance that maybe she missed it. You know, swatting flies is a hard thing, so I would imagine it's the same thing with a bee, that they zoom away right before you get them. But I don't know, maybe there is some kind of weird, like, portal-like thing where she whacks the bee, but it disappeared right before. I think it for sure could be some kind of weird glitch in the Matrix. It's like you're fighting this thing and it's like boop, 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 boop. Or she just missed because it's quick. Our next TikTok's with user, not Brian, Fallon.
Okay, I'm bringing back my Glitch in the Matrix series because I found one titled Dead Cousin Coming to Dinner, and it reminded me of something that happened to me when I was a kid. So frickin' listen to this. Last night, I was on the phone with my mom. Everything was going great. She invites me over to dinner, and she says, your cousin Janet is going to be there. I was like, haha, very funny. Great one, Mom. Thinking, that's not really that funny. Why would you say something like that? And then my mom keeps going on and says, you haven't seen Janet in forever. Janet died last year. I have a vivid memory of it. I didn't attend the funeral, but I do remember everybody talking about it and making a big scene out of it because she was so young and it was cancer. I remember her husband coming to visit and him being very depressed. I never saw her body or anything, but I'm 1,000% certain that this woman is dead. I wasn't that close with her, so I never really had that much grief about it, but I do have vivid memories of her dying and the whole family being upset about it. I was really weirded out by the conversation. My mom on the phone came out and said, Janet's dead. Why are you saying this? Mom kept talking as if I was kidding around, and at one point even says, oh, Janet's back. And the person goes on and talks about how confused they were and bothered they were by this. And it reminded me, my Aunt Mary died when I was 5 years old. It was the first time I had experienced any level of loss in my life, so this is a vivid, burned in my brain memory. Now, I wasn't allowed to go to funeral because I was only 5 years old. But I do remember going to like the after party of the funeral at my aunt and uncle's house that I had never been to other than for this funeral. Because my aunt Mary was my dad's brother's wife, and my mom hated my dad's side of the family, so we never saw them. Never. So this all happened again when I was 5 years old. I went into my cousin Jessie, my aunt Mary's daughter, was 16 years old, randomly on the street. Well, I find out that her mom is not dead, and it's this ongoing joke in my family. I thought my Aunt Mary was dead for years. I did later on find out I did not imagine the house I lived in. Both of my parents confirmed that I never been to the house. I've never even been to that neighborhood. The fact that I know exactly what that house, we had that after funeral thing, the thing nobody like has bothered me my entire life. It makes absolutely no sense, but my Aunt Mary is still alive and well, and I'm 29 years old. She died 25 years ago.
I feel like I've heard of a lot of Glitch in the Matrix stories where somebody believes someone died and they actually didn't. Like, this is actually a common occurrence, and I think it is such a crazy thing to happen because, you know, someone dying is a big deal. Usually there is a lot of hullabaloo is not the right word because it makes it seem like it's not necessary to have that kind of commotion around something, which obviously it is. It's, you know, someone passing and everyone's sad and there's funerals and stuff. But so hullabaloo's not makes it seem like it's not necessary. But there's usually a lot of like hullabaloo when someone passes. So it's relatively memorable. You know, there's like people posting well wishes on social media, and there's a funeral and people are talking about it in your community, and like it's usually a big deal. Like, it's something that's a memorable occurrence. It's not usually like someone mentions it in passing and you maybe misheard them. It's like a thing. It's like a memory that you have. It's like, you know, this person is gone and there's a bunch of other people who essentially corroborated it at the time. And then to find out that all of that is what, a false memory, that's a pretty intense false memory to have. Again, it's not like you just misheard someone saying it in passing usually. It's like these people have memories of a funeral, and like she said, she saw the inside of her aunt's house that she had never seen before, and her mom confirmed, yeah, you've never seen this before, so I don't know how you saw it. But she's like, yeah, I saw it at the funeral, but the funeral didn't happen because the aunt was alive. It's like, this is such a common occurrence, and it baffles me. Like, to me, I feel like this is evidence of different timelines and things happening in different timelines. She must have at some point jumped and is now in a timeline where her aunt is alive. I don't know. I don't know how it happens. You know, the universe works in mysterious ways. But yeah, to me, that's what happened. I don't think that there's any other logical explanation for it. Our next TikTok's by the user Rainbows and Cheese. Oscar's giving me the side eye because he loves cheese. He can hear a package of cheese opening from a mile away. You turn around and you're like, oh my god, when did you get there? Anyway.
I just witnessed my first glitch in the matrix or timeline jump today. Not my usual content, but I have to share this because I'm still like, what the... Anyway, so this morning, I go to run the dishwasher and, you know, it's all loaded. Go to put the dishwashing detergent in. Tell me why. The place I usually put it in on that little console. So usually when we put it in, it's on the right. Tell me why this morning, it's on the left side. And the shape's different. And I'm like, no. Nope, this is no. And then like close my eyes and I'm like, take some deep breaths. You're dreaming. This is crazy. Open my eyes again. It is still on the left side when it is supposed to be on the right side. And I'm like, am I having a stroke? Am I losing my mind? What is happening? So I call my husband because my husband does the dishes and runs the dishwasher just as much as I do. Equal opportunity household. So I call him and he answers and I'm like, thank God. So I'm like, babe, I feel like I'm losing my mind and I need you to tell me that I'm not losing my mind, okay? And he was like, okay, what's going on? And I said, when you load the dishwasher and you're about to run it, what side do you put the dishwashing detergent on? If the thing is open and you're facing it, like looking down, what side does that go in? And he goes, I think the right. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad it's not just me. But I said, what if I told you that I thought the same thing and it's now on the left side and the shape is different? and we haven't gotten a new dishwasher. And he was like, wait, what? So I sent him photos of it. And he was like, logic brain taps right in. And he's like, well, maybe we're just remembering wrong. I am not remembering wrong. I'm so fucking weirded out. Like, the thing that also, like, tipped me off was that both sides were closed. And I'm like, I just finished loading the dishwasher. Why are these consoles closed? Usually after the dishwasher runs, they leave them open. And I'm like trying to like open the right side. And I'm like, why is this not opening? And it opens the wrong way. And it's like the pre-wash area. And it opens like this. And I was like, it used to open like that. Where like you pop it up and it go boop, boop. No, the hinge went boop. No, ma'am. No. Again, might have had a stroke. I don't know. But I'm telling you, like, I'm fucking with it, trying to get it open. And it opens a way that I am not familiar with. And I'm like, okay. So then I look to the other side and I like slide this thing across and it opens up to, there's already dish detergent in there? I just loaded it. I just finished, what? You guys. And like I said, the shape is different. The one that prior to today, the square or the rectangle, it was actually more of a square. It's now like a wide rectangle. And it was a square like this, it was deeper. So if you put a pot in there, like it almost fit perfectly. And now it's like wider, and I sound crazy. But I am telling you, like, this happened. Anyway. Nothing is real. We live in a simulation. I don't know. That is all. Thank you for sticking around. And please share your own stories of glitches in the Matrix, because I love this shit. But like, I haven't had this shit really happen, and it's really scary when it does. Anyway, I'm also just really confused about how there was already detergent in there. Thank God it looked like the detergent that we use already. I would have completely lost my shit. But like, the fact that it was on the wrong side, a different shape. Anybody else experiencing some weird shit? Because I'm pretty sure I just jumped timelines and I don't know how I feel about it.
One thing I think is specifically interesting is also, it's like you load the dishwasher so many times, it's like muscle memory. You know, you put the pot in or pour your soap in, it's like you know where it is, and like you don't really have to think about it. It's just something you do because it's one of those like mind-numbing activities that you do so often that it kind of means nothing anymore. So when you open up the dishwasher and it's on the opposite side and it's like your muscle memory wants to do this and you're like, I'm certain it's over there. Like, I believe that she knows that it was over there. Especially her husband. It's like, I could picture my dishwasher now and tell you that the thing's on the left side. I put the pot in the thing on the left side. I feel like this is a very crazy sentence, but it seems like her dishwasher swapped timelines because they both know that it's supposed to be on the other side. So it's not like she jumped timelines and her husband's like, no, like it was always like that and she just is the one having the issue. It's like both of them know that it's on the wrong side now. Especially with the soap being in there and her swearing that shouldn't be and that the thing should have popped open. And I really think the dishwasher like switched timelines. Again, a really crazy sentence that you probably will never ever hear again. But I don't know how else to explain this. Our next TikTok's with the user Real Life Ghost Stories.
I came across a delicious Glitch in the Matrix / time slip story for you, so let's get into it. I found this story on the 14 Times forum, and our original poster stayed anonymous, but back in the early 90s, he was about 18, 19 years old and was working in a summer job. Now in this job, him and his colleague used to take a work van and they would drive the same route every single day. So it was a stretch of road through a forest, completely straight, thick forest on either side. They did it every day, multiple times a day. So this one day, they are driving back to their work building through this straight stretch of road in the forest when they realise, shit, they're nearly out of gas. And they decide, look, we're going to keep going, see how far we get, and then if we need to call somebody, we'll call somebody. At the time, the van had longwave radio, and they reach this stretch of road and the radio cuts out, stops working, a black spot. And on the right-hand side of the road, they notice that there's this shed, this corrugated iron, flat-roofed shed that they've never seen before, with a handwritten sign that just says gas. So they're like, weird, we've never seen this before, but also great. So the pair didn't really think that much of it. They were kind of like, oh, how weird is it that we've driven this road every day and we haven't seen this gas station before? But they thought because it was so mundane, so normal, they just didn't register it in their brain. So the original poster goes into this corrugated iron shed. I mean, clearly had never seen a horror film before in their life, because if I've learned anything, it's that I'm not going into any sort of corrugated iron shed, unless of course it is to get a warning that I'm going to die in the imminent future. But he goes in, he calls out hello. Eventually this little man in his 60s appears, and he's sort of short, he's round, he's wearing a pair of trousers held up by a pair of braces and a flannel shirt. He has these really thick Coke bottle glasses and like a Greek fisherman's hat. The original poster is like, well, I need to get some gas, and the guy seems quite put out by the whole thing. So he's fumbling around, getting this key, he's mumbling in Swedish. He goes out and he's sort of rocking from side to side, constantly watching the two men. And the two guys are like, this is the weirdest thing that's ever happened to us. So they fill up with gas, and as they're driving away, they look in the rearview mirror, and the man is standing on the side of the road, sort of waving both hands in the air at them. And they're like, that was such a strange encounter. By the time they get back to their workplace, the van is on its last legs. It's sputtering, it's smoking, things are not looking good. So the work mechanic reckons that they've either put petrol or diesel into the van when they shouldn't have, and he's like, right, we need to siphon it out. So they siphon it out, but what comes out is sweet and smells like turpentine. And the mechanic looks at it and he goes, well, this is wartime gasoline. Where did you get this? Wartime gasoline was basically this sort of crude concoction that was used during wartime when people didn't have enough fuel, and it wouldn't make your car run efficiently, but it would make your vehicle run. So the two guys say, well, we stopped at that gas station along the road, and the mechanic is like, what gas station? There's no gas station along that road. There never has been. An original poster described this moment as being like a bubble burst. The two friends, the two work colleagues were suddenly like, shit, we don't ever remember there being a gas station on that road. They went eventually, drove up and down the road. There was no sign of the gas station, no sign that there ever had been a gas station there. And in later life, the original poster was still really perturbed by this whole story, and he did some research. There never was a gas station there. But one of the really amazing things about this story is that he physically kept the receipt. This strange man in this strange gas station had handwritten a receipt and given it to him, and he had put it into his wallet. So he knew that he had physically been there. That fuel was put into the van somehow. But there was no evidence of there ever being a gas station there. So was it a glitch in the matrix? Was it a time slip? Was it a step into an alternate universe? Why did the radios black out on that stretch of road? Who knows?
So my first question is, do we think that this is paranormal, or do we think it is a glitch in the matrix? That somehow the universe glitched because they needed this gas? Do we think that's a possibility, or do we think it's like a ghost gas man? I think it kind of has to do with the fact that they needed the gas, because if they never saw him before that, never saw this station before that, never saw it after that, I feel like I've heard a story before where there's like a ghost gas station, or maybe not ghost gas station, because it actually existed. It had just been closed down for a long time, and somehow this girl was able to get gas from it, and then she found out later that it was closed. But it was like she needed gas, and she stumbled upon it, got gas, and then later was like, oh my god, like this place doesn't work, it doesn't have gas anymore. It seems like the universe just like sometimes glitches. It's like even maybe more like form of manifestation to like cause a brief glitch, that is like you jump timelines to, you're like, I need this gas, and your intentions are so strong that you jump to a timeline where you're able to get the gas and then go back to your original programming, I guess. It seems like that's what happened here, but I think it's insane that it's not even like the other situation I told you about where she found out that the place was closed down. She couldn't have gotten gas because the machines don't work. This is like the fact that they got like wartime gas, and this guy's like, where did you get this from? It's not just like regular gas. It's like they literally had to have somehow gone back in time, or something from back in time came to them. I think that is insane. It's like, how'd you get this gas? And then he has a receipt too. It's like, maybe if there was no receipt, I would think that like my coworker's gaslighting me that this happened and it's just a delusion. He's like secretly like, this guy's crazy, I'm gonna make him think that it's true. But there's a receipt. He knows, he experienced this, he got this gas, he got this receipt. And the car guy's like, this is wartime gas. Like, that's insane. Probably like one of the craziest things I've heard, because there's actual like, not even like proof, but it's like insane proof of it being, again, wartime gasoline, like a gasoline that you don't find anymore. Like, you don't just get this. It probably doesn't exist anymore. Like, maybe there's something like in a warehouse somewhere, like a scientist has. But it's like, it's not out in the public anymore. It's long gone. And then it shows up in this truck. How? Glitch in the Matrix, I think. Has to be. Our next TikTok spookies Oracle Shy.
Okay, apparently there are all kinds of supernatural experiences and mystical, unexplainable things that happen to people all the time, and nobody's talking about it. Why aren't we sharing these things so that we could all scratch our heads together in a humanity-centric what the F? So I'm going to start. I want to know, what is the most unexplainable or like glitch in the matrix or supernatural or mystical experience that you've had that comes to mind? I'll start with the most recent one. This is more glitch in the matrix kind of stuff, and I'm very curious what y'all's thoughts would be on this. So I was just visiting my dad in Virginia about a week ago, and so he and I drove together to go pick up my boyfriend from the airport. And on the way there, as we leave his house and get on the main road, we get behind this one car that is driving so obnoxiously slow. And then not only is it driving super slow, and we can't go around it because we need to get onto the on-ramp that's like right there, but he's just going so slow. But then he kind of starts to swerve a little bit and kind of cross over into the line. We're like, what is up with this dude? And it was to the point where we were getting a little road ragey. You know, I always tell people I'm a nice, sweet, loving woman, but if you ever want to see my GER come out, it's traffic and people who drive like dumbos. So anyhow, I was starting to get a little fired up too. And I was just like, okay, even I need to see this person. I don't like to be the one that like looks over and all angrily and whatnot, but I was like, I need to see who's driving this car. Like, what is going on? This is at an unsafe level. They're clearly high or something. And so as we finally can pass them, we pull up next to the car, and my dad lays the horn down, and we look over, and the first thing we notice, first of all, is the phone. He's looking at his phone, scrolling his phone. But then him and this passenger in the seat, they both just like turn over and look at us like sloths, like the slowest, like dumbfounded look on their face, just kind of like, huh? And so needless to say, I'm pretty sure they were high on something. So that's not cool, not funny, not anything, but not the main point of the story. So, you know, and this was a very, like a character, you know, you don't forget this kind of face. His head, he had like really thick dreadlocks, and I think he had a beanie on, but really thick dreadlocks, and just a unique face, a unique look that like, you don't see someone like that every day. That being said, we finally move past, we vent about it for a second, we move on with our night. Now, fast forward maybe like 3 or 4 days, I think 3 days. 3 days later, and we shared this story with the family, you know, we're just like, oh my gosh, this, and I was like, that's so funny because on the way to the airport to Virginia, we got behind somebody who was driving the same way, blah, blah, blah. So 3 days later, now the whole family's in the car. So now we've got mom, dad, boyfriend, sister, me. I think that's it. Yeah. And we're driving, and at the exact same part of the road where we exited the house and got on the main road, we end up behind this freaking car. And same, it was a silver car. I knew that much. It was a silver car, same look and everything, but we were just obviously joking at the like, oh my God, what are the odds that we get behind the same freaking thing is happening? We were just talking about this. But now he starts to swerve a little bit. Like everything starts to look a little too, I'm like, oh my God, this person's literally driving exactly the same way as the person before. And now we're starting to get really frustrated again because we're trying, the same exact thing is happening. We're like, what is going on? Cars are going by everywhere. And then there's just this one slow moving car that we're stuck behind. And we're like, God, what would the odds be if it was the same person? And we all laugh and whatever. So you already see where the story's going. But as we're approaching the same juncture of passing them that we did before, as we roll up, the exact same image, the guy on his phone, we see the phone first, the scrolling happening, and look in the window, and it's the same freaking dude. The only difference was that there was no passenger this time. It's the same freaking dude doing the same thing with the same look on his face. That it was literally Groundhog's Day. And I know that from an outside perspective, you might be like, well, yeah, that's, you know, the odds of that are low, but it's still pretty. But I need you to consider all things, okay? The exact same scenario, exact car, exact person, in the exact same spot in a city 3-4 days later. I mean, oh, and my boyfriend forgot his charger in the house when we got in the car to leave. And so then we stopped and we ran back in. We got the charger, locked the door, come back in. And we were just saying too, like, if he hadn't forgotten that, we would have been, you know, that much earlier. Like, any number of things could have happened for that scenario to not have been that, for us to end up right behind him, not 2 cars behind him, not a car in front of him, not, I mean, and the fact that there's just so many factors to this that are so unlikely that it's just one of those, like, what does it mean? Did we jump a timeline? Is there a glitch? Was there a glitch? Or is this just a 1 in a 10 million chance that we happen to all, like, what does it mean? Now, that's not even that crazy, y'all. I got some supernatural stories. I got some mystical stories. I got some more Matrix glitch stories. That's the most recent fresh one. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what to make it mean, but let me know what y'all think. And let me know your stories. Share the most wild glitch in the Matrix story that you can share with us. Actually, it doesn't even have to be that wild. It could be as small as, like, oh, here, I'll share another one before I'm on my way out. A freaking lip gloss that I had. No, eyeliner, whatever, piece of makeup in the bathroom, and it rolled off the sink. Okay. I brush my hair, whatever. I go to pick it up. I can't find it. I'm like, where'd it go? And I, for anybody who's doubting this, I swear to you, I scoured everywhere, even places it didn't make sense or it's impossible for it to, like, what did it do? Roll and hop into the cupboard and did it. I was like, I don't even care anymore of what is possible. I'm going to look everywhere. I looked under the carpets. I looked in corners. I looked in drawers. I looked if it rolled under the door into the hallway outside. I checked everywhere. And this thing literally vanished. It's gone. Bermuda Triangle in the bathroom. Explain it. Explain it. Excuse me. So those are my story times. Let me know your thoughts. And let me know what you got going on out there. We need to talk about this stuff. Like, are we all just having crazy human experiences and then just pretending like they're not happening? Why? Okay, that's all. I digress. Love you.
This definitely could be like a glitch of weird timelines lining up, or it could be something paranormal. I mean, I am leaning more towards glitch, but it could be some kind of like residual energy from the paranormal. Maybe like an accident occurred. Maybe the man in his car, so they're seeing this car like taking the same route and driving the same way, and he's looking the same way because he's stuck in like an infinite energy loop. That's a possibility. But if we're talking about a glitch in the Matrix, it really could just be like something lining up, like timelines kind of syncing, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of these things are hard to explain. It's like, it's a glitch, but how do you explain why or how it happens? It's just like it's something that shouldn't happen, and it's way too big of a coincidence to be a coincidence. And I think that's how this is. It's like, it's clearly a glitch, but I don't know why or how. Our next TikTok's by the user, Mandy Brooke Official.
Hold on to your butts. What I'm about to tell you is the weirdest thing ever, and it only gets weirder, so roll the tape. I'm freaking out. I just experienced my first glitch in the Matrix. I've always wanted to experience one, and I finally have. I just went on a trip to Nashville, and I'm unpacking all of my stuff, and I went shopping while I was in Nashville, and so while I've been unpacking, I've been getting rid of like shirts and shit. Here's my trash bag. I'm getting rid of stuff. I was digging through my long sleeve shirts, and I grabbed this shirt, And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this in the trash bag because it has a bleach stain on it. It's always had a bleach stain on it. It doesn't have a bleach stain on it anymore. Here's where the bleach stain always kind of resided. It's not something I really paid attention to location-wise. It just was always there. Last time I wore this was pajamas, maybe, and I don't even think I washed it. This is the comfiest sweater ever, and the reason why I don't wear it all the time is because there's a bleach stain on it. I then compared it to another sweatshirt in my drawer that's a little bit similar. Still no bleach stain. So here's the most wild part. The part that I didn't post on my stories because it was so fucking insane. This entire time I've been unpacking, I have been listening to a video about glitches in the Matrix. About a girl's earring falling out and the post still being on it when she picks it back up. And I thought to myself 10 minutes ago, man, I really want to experience something like that, like a glitch in the Matrix. It's like whoever's rendering my simulation just heard my brain and was like, oh, I'm just gonna give you a little nugget. And that's not all. I lost a necklace a long time ago, and I just fucking found it in the backpack that I packed and checked every pocket and emptied every pocket multiple times, and now the necklace is right in front of me. The crazy thing about this necklace is it was specifically made for me later last year. And when I went to London, I decided to bring it with me, lost it, was devastated. I checked that backpack a million times, and I use that particular backpack all the time. I pack it, unpack it constantly. And it was in a main pocket that I use almost every single day. And then, for the cherry on top, my friend Tara sends me this.
How weird is this shit? I'm going to the same shopping center to meet my mom to go to that store, and the same freaking song that was playing on the way there last time is on the radio.
What are the chances that that song comes on at 222 as I'm driving to the very same place that we were driving in the car? And of course I thought of you, like, while the song was on, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to send this to Mandy. That's so crazy. It's 222. I'm going to the exact same place that we were going when we heard this song the other day. And like, I don't hear that song very often on the radio. And then as I'm like taking the video for you, you text me.
The odds of all of those things happening all at once was pretty crazy. Yes, they have logical explanations for them. Yes, I'm sure I'm going to get them in the comments. It's fine. But do you have a glitch in the Matrix story? Like, I need to know.
There's a lot going on in this one between her experiencing so many things and then her friend experiencing so many things. And then them kind of like intertwining because they were there. And then them like intertwining and relating to each other is so crazy. It's like glitch on top of glitch on top of glitch. And it's just like one giant, huge glitch. Take a shot every time I say glitch in this video. I think for sure her watching that video could have played a part in her experiencing so many weird things, because I think when you focus on it, it opens you up to it. So I guess you guys watching this video may be experiencing glitches in your future because you're entertaining this type of idea. But also the synchronicities with the song and the location, and then also the angel number of 222. I don't think in any way that this is any kind of a coincidence. I mean, it's all just too perfect and lines up too much to be a coincidence. Maybe there's a message, I don't know. I guess that's kind of something for them to figure out because they're the ones who know more background of the situation and themselves, obviously. But I feel like there could be some kind of message in this because it is just too perfect. Our next TikTok's with user, Chekhov's Pizza Cutter.
Glitch in the Matrix story time. This is something that happened to me about 15 years ago, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it ever since. A little bit of context, I am a complete skeptic. I am the least woo-woo person that you will ever meet. I'm not even particularly spiritual, and I don't believe in ghosts. I don't really even believe in the zodiac. So this is crazy because there's literally no explanation for it, and really the only answer that I have is that glitches in the Matrix are real. So to set the scene, about 2010, 2011, one of those years, I don't remember exactly which one, I was headed to a happy hour with my boyfriend at the time, my now husband, at his workplace. It was a happy hour for employees and their spouses at a restaurant downtown. And we were dressed up, we were excited to go and get our drink on the company dime, basically. So picture this, it's early 2010, so got my peplum on, I have my pencil skirt on, probably some uncomfortable heels from Baker's, and get to the restaurant, and from across the room, I see this woman. We make eye contact, and we immediately run to each other, basically, practically jumping up and down with excitement to see each other, be reunited. I just had this intense feeling that I was so excited to see her again after so long. And here's the thing, we had never met, ever. We had never met in our lives. We spent the next 2 hours trying desperately to figure out, like, how did we know each other? Where did we meet? We had absolutely no connections. We dissected every possible moment of our lives that could have brought us together. We talked about every class that we had ever been in, every school we'd ever gone to, every job we'd ever had, summer camp, places that we went to the doctor, stores that we usually went to. Did we have any mutual friends? But no, she had grown up in Texas. She was in her late 30s with kids, and I was 25 with a boyfriend, and I had grown up in New Mexico, had never even spent any time in Texas at all. So there was absolutely no connection there. But, you know, even if we had somehow figured out that, like, one of us had worked at a job where we had, like, seen each other, you know, waiting a table, or, you know, behind the counter at a deli or something, that wouldn't explain the fact that we both had this deep mutual feeling that we were being reunited after a long time. So the night ended. I didn't get her information. I don't even remember her name. I did remember at the time, but I never kept in touch with her. I did look her up on Facebook. At the time, I was one of those people that, like, added everybody that I knew in my life. So I had like 1,500 friends on there, but I didn't have any connection with her whatsoever. No mutual friends, hardly even anybody in the same city. You know, the only thing that we really had in common outside of this deep feeling that we knew each other was that our significant others worked at this same company. So we didn't become friends in real life, because we didn't know each other. It must have been us in a, I don't know, you tell me, parallel universe, multiverse. I don't know any of the terminology, but there truly is no explanation for it. And this is something that's been bothering me for the last 14, 15 years.
I think it's crazy that she says that she's not spiritual in the slightest, and yet without a doubt she believes that she knew this person in, like, another reality or something. I think that says a lot how intense this situation was for her, that she was able to go beyond what she believes and kind of form a different conclusion, because it was just that crazy to her. I definitely think they know each other from either a past life or another timeline that they've connected, and they've become so close, and they're that close that they can just feel it in this timeline, even though they know they don't know each other in this reality. Our next TikTok's with the user Kay I'm Reading.
Okay, hi, I'm gonna go on like a conspiracy theorist rant and just show you guys what's been going on. So obviously, like, I love conspiracy theories. Like, I believe in a bunch of them. Some of them are like full of shit. This one I do believe in now because it's happened to me twice now. So if you've seen them on TikTok, they're like the glitch in the matrix, where like someone loses something and then like it comes back to them, and they have two of the same thing. So let me show you what's happened in my life. That's the glitch. So I bought these cups for the girls, these frozen cups, like a year or two ago. And one of them Tim like used and got destroyed like with paint or something. So I've only ever had one, and they've been sitting up here in my cabinet. Like, there's only ever one. Okay. So tell me why the other day I was doing the dishes. Okay, I only bought two. This is background. I bought two, one for Amelia, one for Eleanor. One got destroyed, and then now I just like have it randomly here. So I went into the cabinet. I'm looking in the cabinet, and now I have two again. And you know how they're like, oh, what's the same? And you know how they're like, oh, like, are they the same? And like, do they have the same marks? And I honestly, like, so, no, like, they're not the same marks. But I don't know where this one would have come from, because I bought them. They're literally from the dollar store. And one has been gone forever, and I don't know where it could have come from. So now I have these two cups, and I'm like, okay, well, that's weird, you know? And they don't fit in my cabinet. So, like, I, you know, have only ever had the one, because one fits in the cabinet. And now I can't put them in the cabinet at the same time because they don't fit. The second thing is the other day I went and got tanning oil. And I have to stop and like go out here and show you the tanning oil. Hold on one second. Okay, so I went to the store and Tim has this dry oil. It's SPF 8. And I was like, okay, I want to get some dry oil for myself, but I want it to be SPF 15, okay? So last week I put it here. Let me show you. I put it right here, just right here where it is, okay? And I went away, I came back, and it was gone. Like, not in this position, okay? So I'm like, Tim, where did you put that tanning oil? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch it. And I'm like, okay, well, I put it here, and all that's left is, the SPF 8. So a week has gone by, okay? I left the house today, came back today. Now, I come home, and magically, right where I left it, my SPF 15 is back where I left it a week ago. And I text him, and I'm like, did you find it and put it back? And he's like, I didn't touch it. I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, check the video cameras. I'm like, oh yeah, because a thief stole it and then brought it back, not used, put it in the same position that I... Yeah, so, like, a thief would not, like, take it and then put it back in the exact position that I have. Him and I are, like, the only ones that go out there and, like, use the sunscreen or whatever, or I'm the one that puts the sunscreen on the kids, so, like, I know where the SPF it is. But it was missing for a week, and we could not find it. I'm telling you, I teared the house apart. I'm like, okay, I went into the baby's room. I went into the bathroom. Did I put it in the fridge? Like, I looked literally everywhere for this. Could not find it. And unless my husband is, like, the biggest liar, which he's not, because he also looked for it because he could not believe that I misplaced it or, like, was saying, like, I was playing a trick on him. I don't think that he did that in the time that I was gone. And it's been a week, and it just magically shows up in the place that I left it. So those are my two glitch in the matrix situations that have occurred. I don't know what's going to happen next, but just some fun conspiracy theory going on. I don't know how to explain any of that.
It's definitely a duplication glitch. I always say this, I wish I got a duplication of things that I love that much. Like, everyone's getting these duplications of their favorite shirts, their daughter's favorite cup. I'd like a duplication of, like, my favorite sweat set, please and thank you. Because I'm constantly washing my favorite ones so I can rewear them, like, 2 days later. Constantly buying more because I want to be able to wear them every day. Like, universe, this is my plea to you. Please duplicate my sweat sets. It definitely seems like that's what this is, though. It must be such a weird feeling trying to put together how this cup could come to be. Especially, she's like, it doesn't even fit in her cabinet. She has the recollection of the other one being ruined, her getting rid of it, only having one for the longest time, and then all of a sudden this one appears seemingly out of thin air. It's definitely a glitch in the matrix. There's another version of her that is missing the cup, for sure. Our next two TikToks are by the user KelseyTrue08.
So like you, I saw that video of that girl that said, I asked somebody what the date and time was in my dream. And I immediately was like, no, I will never do that. But my dream self thought it'd be fun to try. So I fall asleep, take a nap on accident at lunch on a work day. I telework. I'm having a dream, and in my dream, I'm in a car with somebody, and I look over, and immediately, once the dream starts, I just ask him, hey, what's the date and time? And he looked at me in complete darkness and said, you're not supposed to know that. Right after, I was immediately sucked out of that dream and put into a cabin in the woods. It was raining. It was dark outside. The power was out. I'm walking around this house, and I go into the back of the house, and there's a girl that's like operating like a whole computer system or something. I sneak up behind her, and I tap her on the shoulder, and I startle her, and I ask her, hey, what's the date and time? And she looked at me and said, wow, I never thought I'd actually get to meet you. I said, what do you mean? She said, I've been sent here a long time ago to look after you. And I never thought I'd actually get to meet you, but I'm so happy that I did because I've grown to love you so much. This dream is like clear as day, by the way. I start crying, I hug her, and I'm getting pulled away from her. And she said, you have to go, you can't be here. And I said, wait, what should I do? And she says something, I can't hear her, but immediately I get put back on the couch where I was sleeping and taking a nap. I wake up, go to my computer, start working, and I look at the year and it's wrong. And I said, nope, that's wrong. Suck back to the couch. I get up, I go to the kitchen, I wash my hands, and I can't feel the water. I said, nope, not right. Suck back to the couch. This probably happened about 20 times. Something was wrong every single time. I thought I was awake, and then I realized I'm not awake yet. The very last time was the most terrifying because it felt like my body weighed 1,000 pounds. I couldn't lift my head. I couldn't get off the couch. I felt like sleep paralysis. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm never going to wake up again. I'm stuck here forever. I wasn't supposed to ask that question. I'm stuck here forever. As soon as I said that, I shot off the couch. I actually woke up in real life. I even had to call my sister and ask her what year it was just to make sure I was really awake. So I will never do that again. Hopefully. I didn't want to do that, but my dream self just likes to go on a little adventure.
I have one of those too. So in 2009, I was on the way back from a Christmas party in Seattle with a friend of mine. It was snowing really bad. We were on the freeway going like 30 miles an hour. That's how bad the snow was. We're driving down the freeway and going very slow the entire time, being very safe, but I randomly at one point was like, hey, let's get some dinner. Like, I'm kind of hungry. We take the very next exit. Like, it just showed up like, oh, Burger King, let's go. We took the exit, got off the freeway, went and had some dinner, and then got back on the freeway, I want to say about half hour, 45 minutes later. We're driving down the road. I'm on the phone with my brother-in-law at the time, telling him like when we're going to get back. I saw I had a missed call from my sister. And as I looked over to my friend's phone, I saw that my sister was calling her as well. And I was like, that's weird. She's probably like really concerned about something. So I told my brother-in-law, I'm going to get off the phone with you. I'm going to call my sister right back. I called her back and I have never heard her so upset in my entire life. All I can make out of what she was saying was, you called me, you were dying. You kept saying, it hurts, please help, it hurts. And then static and then nothing. So what happened was she had gotten home right when the power went out. And as soon as the power went out, the phone rang. She went inside to answer it. She heard static and then she heard my voice, and we do not mistake each other's voices. Something about being sisters, like you know if it's your sister on the phone, like you never mistake it for somebody else. So anyway, she heard static, she heard me saying, it hurts, please help, it hurts. And then static, nothing, phone went dead. I told her it wasn't me. I didn't call you. We're fine. We're driving home right now, actually, and we're going to be home in about 45 minutes. What we think happened was that we were supposed to get in an accident on the freeway had we not taken that exit. And somehow, glitch in the matrix, phone call still went through and scared the crap out of my sister. To this day, I still have no idea, and it freaks me out to think about it, but I'm telling the whole truth. I can't make this up.
I really want to talk about the first one because I have this happen to me all the time and I have never heard of anyone else experiencing this. When I was listening to this, my heart like stopped for a second because I was like, oh my God, like finally someone else is experiencing this. It freaks me out so much. It happens like at least twice a week and I hate it. It is so terrifying. It is like sleep paralysis. But it's not like how people typically describe it, where there's like a demon in the corner of their room or a demon holding them down or something like that. There's nothing inherently frightening about it besides the fact that it feels like I'm never going to wake up. It's like I wake up and I start going about my morning and then I realize something's off and I'm not actually awake. Like I realize either I can't open my eyes all the way or I'm not walking properly or something. And I realize I'm still in a dream. And so I try to wake myself up and then I wake up again. I get out of bed, start going about my normal routine. And another weird thing happens that makes me realize that I'm still sleeping. So I try and wake myself up again and I'll wake up again. And it'll happen like over and over and over again that I'm like supposedly waking up. But then a few steps from my bed or like I turn on the faucet to wash my face and I realize that I'm not actually awake. And it keeps happening. And the longer I'm like in this sequence, eventually it gets to a point where I'm like panicked. I'll wake up and I'll jolt awake. And then I'm like, I think I'm actually awake this time. And then I'll realize like I have an extra finger or something won't feel right. Like the longer this goes on, I don't really make it far from bed. Like sometimes I don't even get out of bed before I realize that this is still going on. It's like I realize I'm in this nightmare and I can't wake up. And then I'll be aware like there's an alarm set to wake me up. That has to happen soon. Like it has to be any minute now and then you'll finally be out of this. because the alarm is the only thing that can wake me out of this cycle. But I'm like aware in my dream that I'm like stuck asleep. And there will be times that I will like physically try and like force myself to wake up. And it's like I can't move my body. It's like, it's the craziest thing. It's like, I know I'm in this dream, and like the longer it goes on, I know I'm in the dream. At first it's like something, it takes like me walking weird to realize that I'm in a dream. But the more and more times I wake up, it's like I realize I'm in this nightmare where I can't wake up. And I realize everything's fake. And I'll be like, I think maybe I finally woken up this time. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I keep doing it over and over again. I try and force myself to wake up. And it becomes like I keep waking up over and over again. And I just keep praying that my alarm in real life will like finally go off so I'll actually wake up. It's horrifying. And it happens like twice a week. And it's, yeah. There have even been times that I can hear my alarm going off in like the real world, and I'm aware of it, but it's like my real body hasn't woken up. Like I'm still stuck in the dream. And then those are like the worst times. That's only happened a few times, but it's like I'm panicking because I'm like, oh my God, the alarm didn't wake me up this time. And I'm panicking that I will never wake up. Anyway, I've never heard anyone experience this before. It's like, it happens to me so much. Like, it's only been going on like the past year, and it's so frightening. And like those times where my alarm has been going off and my like real body hasn't woken up, there's been a couple times I've literally like practically thrown myself off the bed because I'm trying so hard to like make myself move. And I will like literally like my dream self will somehow throw myself off the bed to wake me up in real life. And every time, once I wake up in real life, like I know this is it, I'm like, I don't have to confirm with anyone. Like I'll wake up and I'll be like, thank God, like I'm actually awake this time. Like I know for a fact every time I actually wake up, but it's just, it's horrifying. It's kind of like I feel like I'm in sleep paralysis, and I can't wake up. Like I'm waking up, but every time I end up still in the dream. And so she's saying this, I'm like, I don't know what this is. Like, are we somehow entering another timeline? Or is it paranormal where it's like I'm being like held down by a demon and I just can't see it in my dream? Whereas like some people, like they actually see the negative entity. I don't know. I don't think that's the case because I never experienced anything else like that. I really think it's some kind of like timeline or like simulation thing. It scares me so bad though. And I'm so glad that I finally have a reason to talk about this because of this TikTok. So if anyone has any idea of what it is, let me know. If anyone else experiences this, let me know. Maybe we can have like a support group, because honestly, like it's so scary. Every time I have this, my Oura ring tells me that I have like more REM sleep than normal. So it's like it is a dream because it's REM sleep. Like my REM sleep's taken a huge boost, and it's like I'm locked in this dream that I can't get out of. Like, is there something wrong with my brain? Or is it some kind of like weird glitch where I've like locked into a dream state and I'm in a different timeline? But also it's like, it's not even a good timeline where I'm experiencing anything good. It's just a nightmare of me trying to wake myself up and I can't. Like, anyway, I'm like rambling on and on about this. This is something that's like so horrifying that I deal with regularly. So hearing someone else say it is like a breath of fresh air, because I'm like, oh my God, it's not just me. Which, aside from that, I also, the past like year, have been dealing with a lack of deep sleep. Like I will literally only get like 20 minutes of deep sleep every night when I used to get like an hour and a half. Probably not related in the slightest, but I'm literally in the process of trying to get like diagnosed with something because I'm so exhausted 24/7, can't get deep sleep. My doctor's like, you're fine, you're healthy. I'm like, listen girl, I don't think so, because I wouldn't be needing naps every single day as a 24-year-old. I wouldn't be like constantly chronically exhausted if I was completely okay. I don't know if that's related to my sleep paralysis issue, just another series of unfortunate events. But yeah, I've got a lot of sleep issues going on, and unfortunately sleep paralysis, time jump, nightmare loops are common for me. Our next TikTok's with the user HappyHealingX3.
Story time. My daughter has superpowers. So a couple months ago, we had a reading done with Miriam from Behind the Haunting. She said my daughter can turn lights off and on, and she's got crazy psychic ability. Like, my daughter has really strong psychic ability. We are all born with it, but some are, stronger than others. My daughter is one of them. She is 6, okay? Right now we're focused on being a kid, but we are very open about psychic ability, and like, you have superpowers, and I just use kid language. Like, I want her to know how powerful she is. And I practice healing energy with my hands. And just we're that type of, it's that type of vibe. Okay, I'm a single mom. It's just her and I a lot of the time. And so we're just, you know, woo-wooing it over here. 4 months, my TV in my bedroom wasn't working right. It wouldn't turn on, or it would shut off, you know, randomly. It's an LG TV, and I diagnosed it. It's just not focusing. I diagnosed it through ChatGPT. I found out the problem, and the problem was more expensive. The fix was more expensive than what the TV was worth. So they said eventually it's going to go out completely, and they did warn me. I just feel like that's not focusing. This is really common with LG TVs. I wish I could remember exactly what it said, but it was along those lines. Basically, it was a ticking time bomb. It finally went out. We just didn't have a TV in the bedroom for a while. Well, then we order a new TV. The new TV is coming the following day, the night before the new TV arrives. We were laying in bed, and she really wanted the TV that night. And I'm like, baby, we just, you know, we're getting one tomorrow. Like, it's fine. Like, we're gonna have one. We just don't have one tonight. And she was like, can you fix it though? Can you fix it with like your, you know, because I tell her I can fix things with my hands. I can heal things with my hands. She's like, can you heal it with your hands? I said, I could try. So I try, you know, studying the intention, talking to the TV, all of that. This works for a lot of things, by the way, when we're trying to find something, when lots of things, like all we have to do is like say it in our mind, picture it in our mind, and it happens. Her and I practice this all the time, and it happens all the time, but with like more simple things. Okay. So I'm laying there in bed, and I'm just like, please, because I want it to work for her, because I want her to just see how powerful we are. So I tried a few different times. Of course, the TV doesn't turn on. It's still dead as a doornail. I'm like, no, you know, it didn't work. She gets down on her own. She puts both hands on the TV. She says, turn on, something along those lines, like telling the TV to start working again. She goes, she lays back down next to me. By the time she's getting cozy in her spot, the TV turns on. When I tell you, I was like, that was my face. That was my face. I was shook. I said, see, I told you, you have superpowers. Because of course I believe it, but also it's like, how did you just do that? And just to prove to you, the next day, this TV came in. We haven't put it up because weeks later, it's still working fine. Now my 14-year-old wants this TV. And I'm like, well, just give it time. Just give it time. Because it's working great. It works perfectly. And that's the other thing. The TV is working like it did a year ago. Like I said, it wasn't working right for months. And now it's working perfectly fine. The timing of that is crazy. You have to admit, like, that's crazy. Wild.
As I always say, some people are so much more in tune to things than others are. And I mean, it can happen at a young age that you have these like abilities and you don't really know how to use them yet. But it seems like somehow she is able to kind of, I guess, maybe control energy a little bit. I don't even know if it's a glitch or if it's like her being able to manipulate energy without really being aware of doing it. It definitely seems like she did fix the TV. I believe that she did. I know there's probably a lot of people that are going to say it's a coincidence, but I think she fixed the TV. I think she was able to, as crazy as it sounds, like harness some energy and to be able to fix the problem. Our next TikTok's for the user, it's Mo Graham Crackers.
Friends, do y'all want to hear a story time I found online about parallel dimensions? Absolutely, I knew you did because me and you the same and we want to know. Now, I believe this stuff be true, but y'all can say what y'all want, believe what y'all want. There's a Reddit user online that did a story about a time where he possibly slipped into another dimension. Now, apparently during this time, he lived in a small town with his wife and newborn baby, and he decided to drop said wife and baby off at the mall. Now, the user says he frequents this mall all the time, so he knows exactly where the mall is, what it looks like. He goes at least once a month. He drops them off at the front entrance, and then he goes off with his business partners to have dinner at this Japanese restaurant. Once they finish dinner, everybody say their goodbyes, they go on their separate ways. He heads back to the mall, but when he gets there, there's something different about this mall. Apparently, the entrance is blocked off by orange barricades, and so it's detouring him around the mall to the side of the mall down a street that also has orange barricades. So as he's driving down this detour, he's looking at the people who are working on the mall in construction, and he says they're giving him this blank stare, but he had this eerie feeling in the pit of his stomach like something wasn't right. This wasn't here just a few minutes ago when he dropped his wife off. So he continues around the detour, goes back up a road, and it eventually takes him back to the Japanese restaurant that he had just had dinner with these friends. Only when he gets there, the buildings are twice as tall and everything looks slightly off, like nothing he had seen before living in this town all of his life. So at this point, he said he felt like, am I having a stroke? Is something going on? So he got out of his car, stood up, looked around, make sure he won't have a medical emergency. And according to him, he said he didn't use no drugs. He didn't use no drugs. He didn't drink no alcohol. He didn't do none of that. He was a healthy, young adult with a wife and a baby. It was at this point he decided to get back in his car, drive back to the mall. Maybe he just tripping. Maybe he stroked out for a second. But when he gets back to the mall, all of the scaffolding is gone. All of the orange barricades are gone. And the mall has a brand new wing built onto it. So he's freaking out in his mind, but he pulls up to the entrance and his wife and baby, they come out of the mall. They get in the car. And he looks at her like, I don't want to say anything because she's going to think I'm stroked out. Probably try to put me in the hospital. But he was like, is there something different about the mall? And she said, I don't think no. I didn't see nothing different. He says he went on about his life, but every time he goes by that mall, he has this weird feeling like he saw something he wasn't supposed to see, and the mall is still upgraded to this new version. Now, he seems to think that he slipped into a glitch in the simulation. Another interesting part of this story is that there are other comments under this post that have very similar situations. So I ask you today, friends, did he slip into a parallel universe? Was he in another dimension? Did he fall into a glitch in the Matrix? Is this all just a facade? I don't know. I really hope I ain't got y'all up in too much of a tizzy, friend. I'm gonna call you back later on. Bye.
It's kind of giving like Stranger Things almost. You know, you're not actually going to the upside down. It's not like he went to like a demon place or whatever, but it's like he's driving around this mall and it's like he's making a lap and things are changing. It's like he's going into another dimension with each lap and then finally lands at his destination. I mean, he must have jumped timelines because the wife is like, yeah, no, like this is how it's always been. Nothing's changed since you dropped us off. So she's obviously familiar with the upgrades and maybe it's not really his wife. Like it's his wife, but it's his different timeline wife. It's not his original timeline wife. I don't know, like that's such a crazy thing to experience. I'd probably be panicking, like freaking out that I'm lost and have gotten to a different timeline that I'll never get back. But it seems like things worked out in the end, even if it's like a different timeline, wife and son. Like it sounds to be all good since then. But I guess if anything, he should just be happy that he dodged a bullet and didn't have to deal with months and months of mall construction. Our next TikTok is by the user Fang Banger.
I have a glitch in the Matrix story for you, and I've got photos to prove it. This incident happened a few years ago. My boss was out antique shopping, and she sent me a photo, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and a text. And the photo was inside the antique store. It was on a shelf. There was like picture frames and candles. You can see little price tags on them. And she just texted, "Is this you?" So I'm going to show you that photo right now. Now keep in mind, okay, I'm 43. This photo was in 2001. I was 19. Okay, so it's a big coincidence that a photo of me from 24 years ago is in an antique shop that somebody I know happens to pass through. That's not even the glitch part of it. I have the original photo. I took that photo at Sears Portrait Studio in 2001. My grandparents, that's all they wanted for Christmas was just a really nice photo. I didn't have a lot of money, so I only bought one page. So it had one like large size photo and then a couple wallets. The photo at the antique shop is different. Okay, obviously it's black and white. Not only that, but the pose is different. That's the crazy part, is how did this photo manifest into existence? Sure, Sears could have taken one of the extra poses and printed it in black and white, but why? And let's say that Sears had printed it out, how would it remain in fucking circulation for 24 years? Just a little bit of context, both my parents and my grandparents, they all died years before the antique shop incident. More context, the city that the photo was taken, the city that I lived in, the city that the antique shop was in, the city that my grandparents live in a different state. Those are all different cities. Okay. The big question remains, what the fuck did my boss do with the photo? Did she ask questions? She asked the guy at the counter. Apparently the antique shop has little sections inside. They're like leased out to people who sell their antiques there in their little section. So he didn't have any information on who put the photo there, why it was there, or where they got it. I was mostly pissed off that she left me there in an ugly ass frame. I'm joking, but also not joking. She said she'd went to a bunch of different antique shops and she didn't remember exactly which one that it was in. And I went searching for that photo, and unfortunately, I never found it. The mystery remains unsolved. It's got to be some sort of glitch in the matrix, but I'm going to put those two photos side by side and you can let me know what you think.
That would freak me out so much, seeing my face in a picture, wondering how someone even got that photo. It's not even like, I don't know, someone dug through the recycling because I tossed out that photo or something like that. Like, that photo shouldn't exist. It should have never been printed. It really has to be like it jumped timelines. I don't know. I mean, I'm a big thrifter and I always see photos of like kids or dogs or whatever, and it like weirds me out so much. I'm like, people are just donating their kids' photos. Like, obviously it's like, it's an old photo and they don't want the frame anymore and they have a new photo, but it's just so like weird to me that they just leave the picture of their 2-year-old in there. But then I'm like, this gives a different perspective, because what if it's a similar situation like this, where that photo is, you know, from another timeline and it maybe disappeared from someone's living room and ended up at the thrift store, and I'm staring at it judging someone for not taking the photo of their 2-year-old out of the frame before donating it, but really it's like missing from someone's living room in another timeline or something. It's a glitch in the matrix, in my opinion. Our next TikTok's by the user Wayward Willow.
I have a glitch in the matrix story that honestly I don't know why I haven't shared yet. It is such a weird story, and honestly, people are probably gonna think I'm crazy, or they're gonna be like, you just remember it wrong. But it's Halloween time, so I'm just gonna share it, and I'm just gonna tell you what. So I have a blue buggy. I can show you. It looks like that. And I have 2 glitch in the matrix stories, actually, but the biggest one I'm gonna tell you about now. But the other, they both happened in that car. Now that I realize, I wonder if that car can like go through portals or something. This sounds so crazy. I don't really mean that. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just weird that they both... Okay, so anyways, I went to the doctor's, and this was about last year-ish, around summertime, and I was pulling into the parking lot, and as I'm pulling in the parking lot, I see that it's a really busy day. There's a lot of cars there. And so I pull around, and I see this one spot open, and I remember being, like, actually not, like, really upset, but I was just, like, disappointed that there was no pull-through spots, because obviously I love a good pull-through spot. All of the spots in front of the spots that were open were taken, so you can't pull through. So I park my car, and I'm like, whatever, and I get out of my car, and I remember this specifically. I go walk to the back of my car to go walk to the door, right? I get out, I go to the back of my car to walk around the car that way and go to the door. And I remember there was, like, I believe a red car in front of me, I want to say, because I remember looking at the car as I was thinking, like, oh, I wish I could pull through. So I go to the doctor's, I'm in there, it's like a physical thing, it's nothing, it's for nothing really. And I come back out probably about an hour later, and my car is in the pull-through spot that I wanted. Like, sitting, and I went to the spot where my car was supposed to be, and I was getting nervous because I couldn't see it there. I was like, wait, why is my car not in that spot? And as I get closer, I see that my car is in front of the spot that I remember parking it in. Like, it was, like, I had pulled through and, like, parked my car. I was so freaked. I was sitting in the parking lot for a good, like, 10 minutes being like, I swear to God, I swear I did not park there. I swear I parked here, and I really wanted to pull through, but I remember there was a red car in front of me, so I couldn't. And I was, like, racking my brain. I was like, did someone break in my car? Did someone move? But I was looking around my car, and I didn't see any signs of breaking in. The car was locked when I got to the car, and sometimes that car's parking brake, and it's a manual, is a little broken, so you have to put it in first gear a lot of the time so it doesn't roll. But it was a very flat parking lot, so it wasn't rolling. I don't think it was in first gear, but that's the only conclusion I can possibly come to, is that maybe it rolled. But then again, it was parked, like, perfectly in that spot. If it rolled, I feel like it would have rolled much further, because there was, like, a bunch of space past that spot that it could have rolled past. Like, it wouldn't have been perfectly in that parking spot. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. To this day, it's crazy to me. I still don't know what happened. If I want to think logically about it, that's the only logical conclusion I can come to, that it possibly rolled. But again, it was so perfectly in that spot, like I had pulled through and parked there, that I feel like that wouldn't have been an option still. I don't know. I have no idea, but it still freaks me out to this day that I wish I was able to look at the security footage, but I was afraid to go in there and ask because I thought that would be kind of weird. Like I said, nothing was like taken, nothing looked like it was broken into, so I was like, they probably won't let me look at it anyways. But yeah, I saw another girl talk about something similar to this on here, which is why I wanted to share mine, because I was like, I don't know. I still don't know what happened this day. If you have any conclusions, thoughts, ideas of what you think happened, or if you do think it's a glitch in the Matrix too, or if you have your own, let me know. I love reading them. They're so fascinating. Another quick one, I will say, the other one that I had in the car was I was driving home from work. I had put my wallet into my purse that was on the floor. And then all of a sudden, like a minute later, I look back over and my wallet is sitting back onto my like center console. Like I didn't just put it away. I remember that too. That was like a couple years prior to that incident. I haven't had any other incidents since then. So that's why I'm like, I think it was some weird thing. I think I should be okay. Like I feel like I would have had more incidents like that if it was, you know, me just being like not knowing what was going on. But yeah, so those are my weird glitch in the Matrix experiences. What do you think? Let me know.
Maybe this is some kind of a manifestation glitch where she just wanted that pull-through parking spot so bad that the universe gave it to her. I truly believe that you can manifest literally anything you want. I truly believe that even if you in your head can't find any logical reason for how your manifestation can come to fruition, as long as you believe, like, the universe will jump through hoops to get you your manifestation, even if there is no logical way it could happen. I am such a big manifestation believer that I believe that that's the case. And I think that that's kind of what could have happened here, where the universe jumped her to another timeline where she got that pull-through spot because I guess she was worthy in the moment of that spot, or whatever it may be. As I've said before, like, I'm Catholic, but I'm also incredibly spiritual. We got both worlds kind of balancing each other out, and just what feels right for me. And I really truly do believe that we can jump timelines to more desirable timelines where there's a more desirable outcome, like we get the job, or we could jump to a timeline where we don't get the job, and it's all about our mindset. And it seems like this is obviously this isn't like a crazy change or anything where it's like she got a job or got $1 million or anything. It's just, you know, a car getting a little bit of a better spot in a parking lot. But to me, I genuinely think that that's what happened here. Our next TikTok's from the user Yo Shelb.
All right, something really weird I think just happened. So my daughter gave me these yesterday. They're little bats. I love bats. Okay, she wrapped them up, gave them to me, whatever. We had them, the set, this and the other one, on this table right here. Okay, earlier today they weren't there, so I'm like, what happened to them? Where are they? We couldn't find them anywhere, whatever. Just a little while ago, I'm messing with cleaning out the robot vacuum, right? And I see the earring on the floor right here. So I'm like, oh, there's one. Okay, good. So I pick it up. I immediately put it on this table. Okay? From there, I didn't do anything else, and I immediately look underneath the couch, and I see the other earring. So I grab it, I pick it up in my hand, and then I go to put it on the table next to the other one, and it's not there. And I'm literally like, what? I'm looking all around like, okay, did I accidentally put it somewhere else? I literally, it wasn't like there was any time in between doing these things. I didn't bump into the table. I like literally picked it up off the floor, put it on the table, and then immediately looked under the couch, under the chair, the recliner. I still only have one. I'm so confused. What the fuck just happened? Was that a glitch? Or, like, am I tripping? Or I just want the other fucking bat earring. I literally looked everywhere. I didn't put it anywhere. Oh my god.
Okay, first of all, I hate that because I would be so upset if I got earrings and then one of them just disappears. It's so crazy how these things happen. Like, especially she just got this gift and one of them goes missing. And then she has this experience where she puts it up and is looking for the second one. She finds the second one and it's just the first one that evaporated into thin air and put itself under the couch. Like, that's insane. I'd be like trying to wrap my mind around how it could have disappeared in the 5 seconds it took me to duck my head to look under the couch and put itself there. Like, that is crazy. I mean, I definitely would say it's a glitch in the Matrix, but again, it's like I can't explain why or how. Like, what's the purpose? I don't know. But I really do hope that she ends up with a full set at some point. Our next TikTok's by the user SMoneyYZ.
Oh my goodness, the weirdest thing ever just happened to me. I'm literally so freaked out as a children. I'm like pacing. Let me know if you guys also think that this is super freaky or if I'm just overreacting and it's just like a crazy coincidence, okay? Okay, is this a glitch in the Matrix or is it just me? I'm so freaked out. Anyways, I'm in TJ Maxx right now, but the other day I was also in TJ Maxx, but I was in another TJ Maxx in a different part of town, like 30 minutes away from the TJ Maxx that I'm in right now. Completely different part of Philadelphia, like 2 different TJ Maxxes. I want to make that very clear. Okay, so when I was in the TJ Maxx the other day and I was checking out online, buying what I was going to buy from that TJ Maxx, a woman comes up to me out of nowhere and she was like, "Hi, I'm a psychic and I have a very important message for you." And I kind of just tuned her out because I was literally checking out with my purse open, giving my money to the cashier, and I just felt like it was kind of sketchy timing. I didn't want to be distracted. And 2, I don't know if I necessarily believe in that stuff. I do believe in psychics and people who have gifts, but I don't think that they're soliciting their services to people in the wild. And I actually find it's kind of predatory and against the practices of spirituality to do that. And then also, even if she is like gifted in any type of way, whoever, whatever she's communicating with, whatever entities or spirit guides that she has, I don't know if they're necessarily ones I need to communicate with or have any important messages from me. Energetically, spiritually guarded in that aspect. She gives me her card, I just take it and throw it out. And a few days pass and I'm in another TJ Maxx in a different part of town, 30 minutes away from the TJ Maxx that I was in the other day. Different times of day, everything. As I'm walking in, literally by the door of the TJ Maxx, the same woman is standing there, looks at me and goes, "Hi, I'm a psychic medium and I have a very important message for you." I look at her, she looks at me, she's about to say something. I literally darted. I was about to grab a shopping cart and I didn't even grab it because I was so freaked out. I didn't know she recognized who I was, but I definitely recognized her and I just find that so weird. And like, what are the chances the same woman within a few days span of each other, same week, TJ Maxx, 2 different TJ Maxxes, different parts of town. Like, it's just so weird to me. Like, what are the chances? Like, I'm so spooked. Honestly, what are the chances though? Maybe this is what she does. She just goes around to TJ Maxx's throughout the Philadelphia area all day, every day, and walks up to people and says that she's a psychic medium and she has messages for them. But like, what are the chances? I saw her twice in the same week in different TJ Maxxes, different parts of town, different times of day, within a few days span of each other. It's weird. It's really weird. Tell me if you guys think I'm overreacting or if this is like a glitch in the Matrix and really spooky, because I'm spooked.
As much as I'm ready to yell glitch about anything, I think that this honestly could be like some kind of a scam. Personally, I think that this could be a scam. That this person is pretending to be a psychic and is going around to TJ Maxx's and being like, "I see something, I have to give you a reading, here's my card," and then hoping that the person calls them and they can upcharge them because it's like, "Oh my god, like I ran into you in the store and I had to tell you this because it's such a big deal." And they're like, "Oh my god, like I'll pay anything because I need to know what you saw in the store." I don't know how many people would actually like fall for this, but I feel like it could be easy to like grab people and, you know, maybe when you're like in that like shopping flow state, it's easy for someone to like grab your attention like that. And I don't know. Personally, I do think it's probably some kind of a scam thing, and it's a coincidence that she happened to run into her at another TJ Maxx. But yeah, I don't think this one's a glitch. For as often as I agree things are glitches, I don't think this one is it. Our next TikTok's for the user, it's Indira Baby.
So,
Me and my mom almost got hit by a car carrier last night. So much fun, right? So we were contemplating on leaving the house. We didn't feel like leaving the house, okay? But we knew we had to go to the store, okay? We had to get some shit from the store, okay? So we just knew we had to go. So we leave the house, get in the car, leave the house, come to the first light. I was about to post some messy shit about somebody that had me messed up, which I feel like was a sign anyways. So we get to the light, and I'm on my phone. Like, I have my phone, I'm looking down at my phone, right? So as I'm looking down on my phone, I look back up real quick, and I see that the light is red, and my mom continues to keep driving through the light. And I'm like, stop. Like, I literally yell. I'm like, Mom, stop. The light is red, right? Mind you, my mom is looking at the light the whole time. So, while the light is still red, this big ass car carrier zooms through their light this way, because their light is green and our light is red, right? So mind you, while I'm still looking at this red light, it goes green after that. And my mom's like, no, I was looking at the light the whole time. The light was green. I swear to God, I put that on my granddaughter. The light was green. The light was green the whole time. The light went red, green, red. Y'all, when I say we almost lost our life last night, not even kidding. Not even kidding. We weren't even supposed to leave the house. Y'all. When I say God was looking over us last night, that's it.
That's like a frightening situation. I can't even imagine that. Like, car crashes on my list of things that freak me out so bad. I mean, duh. But I have OCD, so I constantly have intrusive thoughts about like the worst possible outcome for things, and half the time when I'm like approaching an intersection, my brain flashes with like an intrusive thought, like an image of like a car smashing through the intersection and hitting me and blaring the horn. Like, it's a little bit crazy up here sometimes. It's a lot to deal with. But I like to say, if nothing else, it keeps me aware and keeps me safe, because I'm always prepared. And I think like this is kind of a real life version of that it's maybe the universe thought they weren't aware enough or something and had to like shock them. Or maybe it was preventing them from continuing on elsewhere, because they were just like, this is it, we gotta call it quits. Like, that was so scary. I mean, as they should. Anyone would be freaked out by that. And it prevented them from taking a further stop that they would have, and then getting injured or something bad happened there. Maybe it's kind of like a burnt toast theory kind of experience. Our next TikTok is with user CinnamonGirl4.
Does anyone else have an obsession with glitch in the matrix stories on Reddit? Sorry, I'm looking at my computer right now because I just read one that's so creepy. I'm scared to go to sleep tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna let me just tell it to you. Okay, so this person says that him and his ex had a blackout with no explanation. So they go to 8 or 9 years ago, him and his girlfriend at the time went to a popular wildlife park. And they were gonna cook every single night together. They brought a few bottles of wine because they were gonna drink a bottle of wine per night, which he says isn't that much, but it's enough to get him tipsy. But he explicitly says that this is not a drinking story. Okay, so it was the first night that they were there, and they poured themselves some wine. They were joking about, you know, just whatever, having casual conversation, and he was really excited about the lamb chops that they were making that were in the oven. So they're just chilling. It's about 6 o'clock, but it's winter time, so it was like kind of like getting dark out. So all of a sudden they wake up on their bed, fully clothed, shoes on and everything, on a bed that's completely still made, and they're just like sitting on top of the covers. Next to them, they had their plates that were half eaten, and the door was open to the outside, which they said it's like unheard of because of the mosquitoes. They're literally in a wildlife park. Freaking who knows what kind of bugs or animals could have came in there. But the door was wide open, and they went out there, and their wine glasses had like bugs in them, and it was warm to the touch. And they both looked at each other like dazed and confused and kind of just like, what just happened? And they never talked about it again. Okay, the creepy part is that my computer just literally shut off. Like in updated, I didn't click update, I clicked install later, and it just shut down. And what I was gonna say is the creepy part is that everyone in the comments were telling them that they were abducted by aliens, and now I'm having a bit of a panic attack.
So that's crazy. If there's no drinking involved, but also, even if there was drinking involved, both of them would have to drink a lot to both equally have non-existent memories. But them saying that there wasn't even alcohol involved, there wasn't like hard drinking or anything, I really think it has to either be a glitch or some kind of weird alien abduction situation. Granted, this is like a Camping Woods situation, so I'm leaning kind of towards alien on that one. But that's insane to me. Our next TikTok is by the user Blackberry Fairy.
Y'all, can somebody explain this to me real quick? I just had like my first real glitch in the Matrix and I'm tweaking out. So my daughter starts ballet soon. So last night I ordered some of the things that she needed for her little ballet outfit to come in the mail today, overnight shipping, Amazon. So I went outside because it was delivered and I got the box. The box was sealed, as Amazon boxes are, okay? It was sealed on both sides. So I got a knife. I came over here. My baby, she's playing over there in a different area, okay? I get the knife. I open the box, okay? And in the box, you know, her ballet stuff came in these little bags. She had her ballet shoes. She had her leotard. And then she had her tights, okay? So I had taken that all out. That was all separately packaged. And then there was this stuff, okay? So I just went to take it out to make sure. So I went to take it out. And out of this freshly sealed box in this paper, this fell out, okay? Now, this is a silicone rainbow building set. I got my baby this from Target months ago. And for months, this piece has been missing. So this is how it's been. There's one more piece missing, but these are all the pieces that we've had, okay? And this is one of the exact pieces that has been missing. And it came out of that sealed Amazon box. What?
Honestly, that seems kind of nice. It's like the universe is like, oh, here, you lost this. Let me put this in with your Amazon package or something like that. I definitely think it was maybe like some good karma or something that the universe was returning the missing piece that disappeared. I mean, actually, we'll kind of get into this in a TikTok that's coming up in a few. But I do believe that if you misplace or lose something and you really desire it, you can absolutely manifest it back in surprising ways. That it's like, oop, I found this in my Amazon box. Oop, I found this under the couch and there's no way it could have been there. Kind of a thing. I think that that's absolutely possible, but I think it's kind of hilarious that it's sealed into an Amazon box of all things. It's like the universe wanted her to make sure that she knew it wasn't just appearing from somewhere. The universe wanted her to know that it was being returned to her. Our next two TikToks are by the user Diantosaur.
I finally experienced my first glitch in the Matrix. Let me explain. So this happened 2 days ago, and I've been telling myself to record a video, but I keep getting so busy and forgetting, so I'm going to finally tell you the story now. So I had a basket of laundry that was dry and clean sitting on my floor. And I needed to get it put away. It was sitting there for maybe a day and a half before I finally picked it up and started folding it. And I fold everything and it's all normal. Like, it's all my husband's clothes. So I'm folding the laundry and then I see this in the basket. Like, what the hell is that? I've never seen that before in my life. And it's a pair of swim shorts, right? But it says Punta Cana on it. Sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly. But like, my husband's boss just went there on vacation with his wife and his kid. So I figured, like, oh, all right, maybe he brought that home as a gift for Kyle. Like, hey, I bought this for you while I was on vacation. Because it's like his size and everything. It's perfect. It'll fit him, you know? It's his size. And I'm like, oh, Dom bought you this? Like, you threw it in the washer with the laundry. And it's dry now. Where do you want me to put it? You know, what a nice gift. Whatever, right? He says, what is that? I'm like, what do you mean, what is that? It's a pair of swim shorts. They have to be from Dom. Like, he just went there. So obviously he brought them back for you, right? Like, how else did they get in our laundry? He said, Dom didn't bring anything back for me. The first time I saw Dom since he got back is today. Now my gears are turning. I'm like, if that's the first time you saw him was today, then how has that been sitting in a laundry basket on the floor for 2 days? Now Dom got back from vacation 3 days ago. That's been sitting on the floor since the day after he got back. I didn't fold it and put it away until the day before yesterday. And the day before yesterday was the first time that my husband saw his boss since he came back from vacation. So ever since this happened, I'm like, where did this come from? Where did this pair of swim shorts that's obviously from the place that your boss just went on vacation, that's never been in this house before, where did this come from? How did these get in my house? And the only thing I can think is it's obviously been a glitch in the Matrix. In some other timeline, Dom came home from vacation and gave this to my husband as a little thanks for being my employee and running my business while I was on vacation gift. And Kyle threw it in the washer in that timeline. And then it skipped back to this timeline. Those are still in the washing machine and nobody knows where they came from. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't understand. It's just been like running in my head for days. I can't figure out where they came from. And that's the only explanation I can come up with. Because the fact that they were on the floor since the day after his boss got back, right? The day after his boss got back was the day that laundry got completed out of the dryer. It's been sitting there the whole time. I pulled them out. The look on his face was, why are you asking me what that is? I obviously have no idea. I've never seen that before either. So that really confused me. And I've never seen them before either. But that's the only thing I could think of is we finally experienced our first glitch in the Matrix. And unless you have a better explanation, that's what I'm going with. That's what happened.
I can't take this glitches in the Matrix shit anymore. It's getting out of hand. Let me explain why. So see that cup that my beautiful daughter is holding? I use that cup every morning. Every morning. Everybody in the house knows it. Okay? My husband knows it. My father-in-law knows it. Nobody touches this cup. So I washed it yesterday after I used it. I put it in the strainer this morning. Gone. Nowhere to be found. I check every cabinet. I check the garbage can. Like I checked random places where it absolutely should not be. I thought maybe I left it in my room, forgot to wash it. Check the whole house. Can't find it anywhere. So I text my husband, have you seen my cup? No. Text my father-in-law, hey, have you seen my cup? He said, yeah, it's in the recycling bin in the back. I said, why? He said, I don't know. I assumed you threw it there because I wouldn't put it back there. I don't know who put it back there. I assumed it was you. I said, okay, whatever. Somebody accidentally put it back there. I don't care. I'm just going to go get it, wash it, and use it again. So I do that. Okay. My daughter, this is why I'm so flustered. This part really fucked me up. My daughter has a blanket, and we call it baby blank because it's just a tiny little 6-inch square of fabric that she is emotionally attached to. She uses it to sleep. She needs to hold it in her hand or she will not go to bed. She will fight and fight and fight until you give her that blanket. So this morning, It's not in her bed. Can't find it. It's not in her bed. Now, mind you, she woke up before I made my coffee this morning, before this cup went missing. Keep that in mind, okay? So this blanket goes missing this morning. She wakes up from her nighttime sleep. I get her out of bed and I'm like, where's her blanket? Because every morning I take her binky and her blankie and I set them aside so that when she's ready for a nap, I know where they are. So I'm like, where the hell is her blanket? I called my husband. I'm like, I can't find it. We need to order a backup. It's gone. This is not good. I'm freaking out. I go through my room, tear the whole thing apart. Tear everything apart. Can't find it. Whatever. On to go and make my coffee. I go to make my coffee. Can't find the cup. Eventually, I get a hold of my father-in-law. He says it's in the recycling bin. I get the cup. So I go back to the recycling bin and get the cup out, okay? Bring the cup out, wash it, use it. Tell me how it's been 7 hours since that cup went missing, or since that blanket went missing. I've been back to the recycling bins 3 times since then because I had to go get my cup. I had to take the empty milk container back there, and I went back there because that's where I also keep my Red Bull. I've been back there 3 times today. Okay? Watch this shit. This is my back room. This is where we keep the recyclables, right? My cup was in here. Tell me how the baby blankie's right there. I came back here 3 times today. 3 times. And that was not there. Okay, first of all, how did it make it from her crib to here without her leaving her crib in the morning? How the fuck did it get out here before she even woke up from bed when she had it in her crib when she went to sleep? How did it get here after I came in here to get my cup out of the recycling bin and it was not there? I guarantee you it wasn't. I would have seen it. It stands out like a sore thumb. Look at that thing. I'm honestly so fucked up about this. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. For 2 things to go missing today and both of them to appear in the exact same place, a place that I visited 3 times, and this fucking blanket here was not there. It was not there. I swear on everything I love, it was not back there. So how? Either there's a ghost in my house or a poltergeist that likes to steal shit and hide it and then drop it randomly where I know I looked a million times, or the Matrix is really fucking up now. Because I am so flustered about, like, I can't believe this is the technically 4th time it happened because this cup got put in the recycling bin. I just assumed somebody accidentally put it in there. I don't understand why anybody would have because everybody knows I use this cup every single day. But then the blankie. Like, I don't even know what to say at this point. I am so confused and flustered and I don't know. What do you think it was? Can somebody explain this to me? Because everybody always had something to say about everything else that disappeared. So maybe you could tell me what happened with this and the cup. You can try to tell me how it got out of her bed before she did this morning and then vanished until it showed up in the recycling bin on the floor hours later.
I have no explanation for this other than a glitch. I think her explanation of the glitch being that his boss gave him those swim trunks in another timeline, somehow it like fell through the washing machine into the washing machine in this timeline. Makes sense to me. As much as this situation can make sense, I think that that's the most likely option. But then we go on to hear about the cup and the baby blanket. And I don't know, it's just so weird to me that it's like something wants her to be in that room. There's no follow-up or anything to say that like there was a flood or, you know, maybe like an animal got in, or there's no follow-up explanation to this as far as I can find. But it's like, to me, it seems like there's something that wants her to be in that room. Whether it's for a good reason or bad reason, I don't know. Maybe we'll probably never know unless some update comes across my For You page one day. But I'm really getting the feeling that something wants her in that room. Maybe it's not a glitch this time, maybe it is something paranormal, but it's weird for sure. Our next TikTok's by the user, Jalissa Danielle.
Okay, so I still cannot get over, like, the fact that I know that I was in another, like, dimension or parallel universe or something. So this morning, I woke up around, like, 5 in the morning, and usually I wake up about 6:30, like, naturally. And I, of course, like, get on my phone, I'm just, like, looking through things, whatever, and I just close it out, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go back to sleep.
I don't know what happened, but it turned into like me flying into this airport and landing in a place where I have absolutely no idea like where I'm at. It looked like a World War Z, like destructive type place. It was very dark. There was no light. There's no sun. It's just like everything was gloomy. So yeah, everything was gloomy, and I see like some kids that I used to teach, that I recognize them getting off the school bus and walking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know those kids. Now, mind you, I know while I'm there, I know I'm in a place that I'm not familiar with. I am this age that I am now, but when I taught these kids that I see in this world that I'm in, they are the age that they were when I first met them. So I think right now they're probably about 18, 19, but when I taught them, this was about, I don't know, almost 10 years ago. And yeah, so I'm like waving to them, but they look at me like they know who I am, but it isn't the way that I know them in this reality, because I used to teach them. They kind of wave or whatever, and then it was kind of like, I know you, but I don't really know you, but like I really have. So anyways, I recognize this other lady, and she starts talking to me, asking me about like this past relationship that I personally have not been in for many, many years. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, that was done a long time ago. And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, why are you asking me about that? And so then I call I see a phone, and I call someone who, you know, exists in this world now. And I was like, first of all, how the heck am I able to call from a whole other dimension to this person? And I'm like, you know, I don't know where I'm at, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, I don't know where you're at, and I don't see your location. And I'm like, that's because I'm in a whole nother world. Like, get me out of here. Like, I have no idea what's going on. And it was just like so freaky. He was able to send me like stuff through a portal. I was receiving things, but I wasn't able to like leave. And I was like, you have to, it sounds. So anyways, I am trying to keep him awake because he's falling asleep. And I was like, okay, the only way that you can bring me back is if you literally like channel some way, somehow, to bring me into your dreams, or I don't know. I honestly, like, I was like so freaked out because I was like, I'm not going to be able to come back. I was walking around trying to find like a place to stay, like a shelter or something. And I kept running into like these staircases that I could see stacked on top of each other, but they were not connected. And I don't know what that means, but to know that you are somewhere very unfamiliar, there's one thing to dream. I have dreams all the time, and sometimes they're like a little intense, whatever, but it's not like this. This was something else. This was like same people that I know in this reality, but they were aged, like they were not aged as much as anyways, like I said, they were not aging, or at least when I saw them, it was like they hadn't aged since I had first seen them, but I was this age now. And going back to, you know, this phone conversation, I'm like, you know, I'll do whatever, but this is the part that like really freaked me out. I don't know who or what it was told me, you know too much, and so we had to take you out of there because you know too much. I don't know if that means like stop with the stuff that I'm saying to people and trying to wake them up or whatever, or if that means like you're good over there, now you have to come spread the message over here. I don't know what, but I was like crying. I was crying when I woke up. I was crying in my dream, I'm not even gonna call that a dream. I don't even know what it was, but because I was like, where am I and how do I get out? Anyways, y'all, you know how sometimes whenever you are dreaming, you have like flashes of scenes and scenery. So I had all these bits and pieces, but I know I was in another world, another reality with people who I knew, which I feel like it confirms to me that we do have parallel universes, which means there are other versions of you that exist. They're just, and you have these people who you know in this reality, and you also know them in a different reality, but it's just in a you didn't meet them the same way, the relationships aren't the same, but you have a connection still. And this is what I felt there. There's a movie called Parallel, like y'all have to see it. I always talk about this movie all the time because I'm like, there has to be some kind of validity to this, because there's no way that other people have experienced this and there's not some truth behind it.
It could be a lucid dream. She's saying that she doesn't think it's a dream because she was aware that it wasn't real life. It could be a lucid dream. On top of my weird sleep paralysis loops, where I'm aware that I'm not actually waking up, that I'm just waking up in a dream again. I've had plenty of lucid dreams my whole life, where something will happen and I'm like, oh, wait, this is a dream. Thankfully, most of the time, it's scary dreams. I'm like terrified, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, this is a dream, like I'm chilling. And then I'm either able to wake myself up, or like the scariness doesn't matter anymore because I know I'll wake up eventually and it's a dream. It absolutely could be a possibility that she realizes that she's in a dream because she's having a lucid dream, that she realizes it's not real life because she's having a lucid dream. But it could be some kind of weird glitch where she's seeing some crazy alternate universe, like a doomsday version. Obviously, weird because all these kids are younger, unless maybe she didn't realize that she was also younger. I don't know. She didn't say she looked in the mirror or anything and that she looked the same. Maybe if she would have looked in the mirror, she would have seen that she looked like how she did when those kids would have been that age. Maybe it was some kind of weird doomsday alternate universe. I also kind of believe that time isn't linear. I do believe it can be like kind of like a Jeremy Bearimy moment, like in The Good Place, or even just that everything is happening simultaneously and we're experiencing now, but everything else is also happening. It's like kind of a hard thing to explain or wrap your head around. But I do think that time isn't necessarily linear. And again, anything can happen at any moment, even if we as human brains can't wrap our heads around it. So I don't know. It could be a lucid dream, or it could be some kind of weird glitch. Our next TikTok's by the user, Dose of Nikki.
I experienced a glitch in the Matrix and I need to talk about it because it's actually insane. I'm sure you've probably heard before that we live in a matrix. We live in a simulation. Past, present, and future is all happening at the same time because time is not linear and time is not really real. I've also talked about the fact that consciousness is all one. We are all divinely connected and separation is just an illusion. Okay, now keep in mind everything that I just said when I'm about to tell the story. So, about a month ago, I started going on Threads. I started posting a little bit more frequently my thoughts and how I've been feeling, whatever. One of the thoughts that I talked about was actually happening in a week where I was extremely burnt out. I was working a lot, I was tired, and I was just like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing as a society? And basically, in the thread, I said something on the lines of, I'm not lazy, I'm not uneducated, my soul is burnt out, I'm tired of doing this. I basically said how if we all stopped doing this, we'd realize that we don't need to do this anymore and life would get a lot better for all of us. Something on the lines of that. I posted it, it went viral. I think Meta took it down because, I don't know, I guess maybe it was just saying a little bit too much truths. Who knows? I thought nothing of it and then just kept scrolling. Day to day goes by and I see someone else posting the exact same thing I said. Top to bottom, exact words, exact comments, exact grammar, whatever. Obviously, I commented and I was like, hey, I wonder where you got this from. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool, but, you know, you didn't have to steal exactly what I said. So then the person was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've never seen your content. Like, I've never seen your stuff. I never even knew you posted this. Like, I actually didn't get it from you. If anything, I got it from someone else who was on Facebook. And I was like, okay, well then that person on Facebook probably copied me because I'm telling you guys, and I would not lie, I wrote this in my own thoughts, in my own car because I was like, I'm frustrated. This guy said, no, I'm telling you, I got it from this person. They posted it a long time ago in like 2024. I'll show you. He ends up getting a screenshot and showing me what the person said, and it was almost exactly to a T what I said. Like, where the sentences were, almost everything was perfect, and I'll show you guys. I'm gonna just let you guys read this here. The top one was the one I wrote, the bottom one was the Facebook one, and it was almost exactly to the T, but that person wrote it in 2024, and I have never seen this in my life. I only use Facebook for, like, Marketplace. And I thought this person maybe made an AI thing. So I dead ass searched this person, I searched this girl, and I looked at it and I'm like, no way, she actually wrote this, and she actually wrote it. Time is not linear. We are all collapsing and we are all one. The same idea you have, someone on the other side of the world probably had that idea already. It's actually insane. We are all one divine consciousness. You cannot tell me that this shit's real. You can't tell me. Have you guys had this experience? Cause, bro, this is like a crazy glitch in the Matrix for me.
I definitely agree with her that we're all spiritually connected, whether it be because we're all part of one bigger universe. I think that we all do have a connection, even if at the very most basic level, it's because we are all humans. We see those posts online and the comments are like, I've never had an original experience in my life. And for the most part, I think that's true. We all think we're so different, but we're all just people. We're all humans living lives, and we're all experiencing things that so many other people are also experiencing. And even if you feel alone one day, you're not alone. Like, there are so many other people living their lives, and I think it's so crazy. Sometimes I'll just be like walking through the mall or something, and I'm like, I'm doing my thing. I have all these thoughts in my head. I have problems I'm thinking about. I have things that I need to do. I have things I'm excited for. And all of these, like, dozens of people that I'm passing also have all these thoughts in their head. They also have an entire life that I know nothing about. And the fact that there's so many of us in the world and we all have our own individual things is so mind-boggling to me. But I think, again, we are all way more connected than we really think we are. And I think this is a good example of that it's maybe not even necessarily a glitch, but a synchronicity. That it's just someone syncing up and having the same thought, and you come around and have that same thought a year later. Because, again, we're all people and we're all trying to live life in this universe, in this world, and figure things out. So I think I really do think it's less of a glitch and more of a human synchronicity. Our next TikToks for these are Happy Healing X3. My fault for not grouping this with her previous TikTok. This is her second TikTok that I'll be sharing with you this video.
I'm going to tell you my glitch in the Matrix story. It is about this antique ring, my grandma's, and it's wild. Okay, so I got this ring many years ago. My grandma's passed away. It's very special. About 5 years ago, I was brushing my daughter's hair. It was very wet. It was very curly. She has curly hair. It was right after the bath. Lots of product. It slips off, but that's no big deal because I was sitting on the couch. I get up, I start looking, I keep looking, I never found it. I looked for hours. I don't know how it just disappeared. I don't know. I thought, well, it must have gotten inside a little tiny hole that's inside the couch that I just can't see. So I knew in the back of my mind, before we ever get rid of this couch, I'm going to rip it apart. I will find this ring. Life goes on. I end up getting a divorce. That couch is now my ex's couch because he kept the house, the family home, and the kids and I moved out. But still in the back of my mind, I knew, like, I'm going to make sure before he ever gets rid of it, I'm going to rip that couch apart. Now, fast forward to December of 2023. Now, mind you, this is my mother's ring. December of 2023, my mom has a heart attack. She goes on a ventilator and she's unconscious. She's 800 miles away from me. She's my best friend. We talk every day. It was obviously really difficult, and one day I was just standing in my bathroom, and for whatever reason, I have no idea why I did this, I pulled down my grandma's jewelry box. She also gave me a jewelry box, and it has all of my high school jewelry in it, so like old boyfriends, things like that, from 20 plus years ago is really the only things that are in there. So I pulled down the jewelry box, and what do you know, right on top is this ring. Let's recap. My phone's about ready to die, so let's recap. This ring, the last time I saw it was at the time, like 2.5, 3 years ago, in a different house with a couch that I no longer even live at. Never found it at that house. I know for a fact. This ring is so special to me. It's something that I never take off. It's not like I just like, oops, I found it and I forgot that I found it. I know it was in my ex's couch. I took it as a sign. I took it as a sign from my grandma saying, I'm with her. She's going to be fine. Started going to family members saying, Mom's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. Other things happened that week that made me think that family was talking to me from beyond. I know I sound crazy, but my dad will verify all of this. I was calling him all week because she was unconscious for a week. I was calling him the whole time saying, this happened now, and they're telling me she's going to be okay. Because the prognosis was not good. It wasn't looking good. My mom is here with us still. And the ring told me.
This is a TikTok I was referring to earlier when I said that I believe we can absolutely manifest things back that we've once lost. That we can set the intention that it comes back into our life and it'll show up in mysterious ways. We hear about that so often in these glitch in the matrix things, about things that they're like, how on earth did I find this? It could have never been in this place, but I found it here. And I think that that's what happened here. Obviously, this ring is very important to her. And to be stuck in a couch, like, that's no place for it to be. I think it just found its way back to her. And hearing this, I really hope there's a necklace from my grandma that I wanted, and no one has any idea where it is. I mean, she's passed. No one knows where this necklace is. Everyone's like, well, where is this? I couldn't find this necklace when I looked through her stuff. So this is giving me the hope that I'm gonna set the intention and that the necklace will present itself to me, because things like this happen all the time. And I truly believe that this is possible. And hello, speaking of that last TikTok and the one earlier, our next one is by the user FemSpecies.
Okay, I need to talk about the literal craziest glitch in the Matrix experience I ever had, and my close friend was a direct witness. We literally watched an object like disappear and vanish in front of our eyes. Like, I've literally tried to come up with like every possible logical explanation that it could have been, but I've never been able to come up with one to this day. So basically the story is, we're on a trip, we're in LA. Both me and my friend were hunched over on the floor. Her head is like right here, right next to mine. We're really close. And I have a pile of my jewelry in my hand. This specific earring backing was like at the very top, and it's like clear, it's like a very recognizable shape. Like, none of my other jewelry looks like this. So we were talking, chatting, it was right here. And so for a moment, I take the box, this is my fake jewelry box, and it passes over our vision. So like we can't see it for like a second, and like I don't move at all, like we're still talking, and then by the time that like the box is like, I move it and it's gone. Sorry, I was just like hella stumbling over my words, but like it was genuinely something so shocking. We both like targeted on my hand and we were like, where did it go? Like what happened to it? I was like, girl, like I don't know, I didn't move. Like, you saw that too, right? Like I just covered it and it was gone. And we were both tripping for a second. Like the floors were hardwood and clean, so we were just like looking around, like, did it bounce somewhere? Did it get caught on my clothes? But no, like that thing was gone in thin air. And we spent the next like 10 minutes like actually just like on the floor looking for it, like looking in every possible place. But no, it was just our vision was covered and it was gone. And so it like had us both really confused, but it was like, whatever, like we're packing up, we gotta get home. And I just remember being so distraught over that earring. Even though it's like a Temu earring, I was still just like, God, like I really wanted to wear those. I was really upset. And I remember my grandma always telling me, like, you can pray for your lost items to come back. So I was just kind of like sending out little prayers, like, please bring me my earring backing, please. Like, it was erased from existence. Like, there was literally, it was gone. And then fast forward like 6 to 8 months later, like just one random day, I walk into my room and it was placed neatly on the top of my bed, like just like it was placed there. And so I ran with the earring backing into my grandma's room and I was like, grandma, look what I found. Like, I was praying for this, like I wanted this earring backing. And she looks at me like with just pure shock, and she's like, and I was like, girl, what's wrong? And she said, a piece of jewelry I had been praying for years showed up today. It was a necklace that her mom gave her, and she said that it showed up in a place it absolutely shouldn't have been. It was placed right on top of her socks in her sock drawer. And she knows that, like, that was just put there because she, like, uses socks every single day. But yeah, that was just, like, the craziest thing ever. Like, if I didn't have another person there to witness this actual object disappearing, then, like, I genuinely don't think that anybody would have believed me. I think that everybody would have thought I was tripping, that I just dropped it or whatever. But the both of us saw it literally completely vanish. It looked almost like a magic trick, like sleight of hand, but, like, I don't know. I still can't explain that one.
I completely forgot this one was next. So yeah, that I'm taking this as my sign that I will find that necklace, that it will appear itself to me. So crazy how these things happen. And it's just like, I don't know, what is it, floating out through the universe until it lands in the right timeline? The world is so mysterious. It's so simple sometimes, but also so incredibly mysterious. Our next TikTok is by the user Lizard.
I know that I look insane. That's not the point here. I think that I am experiencing a glitch in the matrix. Listen, I have a hair clip, had a hair clip. Was my favorite hair clip. I used it all the time. Perfect size. It's black, plastic, nothing fancy. I used it so much that one of the legs eventually broke off of it. And I was pretty bummed. I remember this happened because I was pretty bummed because I used the hair clip all the time. Eventually, the whole hair clip ended up breaking. This is now a few months ago that this happened. Now, I deep cleaned my house today. I vacuum and clean pretty regularly, especially under my in my room. Like my nightstands, they're floating nightstands. I'm almost getting there. Just hold on. So my vacuum goes right under it. I know what I have on the floor. There's nothing under my bed. There's nothing under my nightstands. I literally did a super deep clean today because I'm leaving town on Monday. So there was nothing on the floor. The only thing by my bed is my purse that is new that I just used yesterday and didn't have a hair clip in it. Why was this hair clip by the side of my bed, poking out from underneath my floating nightstand? And why does it work? And why are there no teeth missing? Not one tooth. Not one tooth comb is missing. Like, yeah, it's a little worn out. And the craziest part is, as I was like trying to pack and figure out outfits, I was like, man, I really wish I had that hair clip, because that's like literally my go-to hair clip. And I've been thinking about this specific hair clip, this dumb little plastic hair clip. I have been thinking about it so much lately. And I went to Target today and I was like, you know what, maybe I should replace it, but I forgot. Guys, what? I swear to you, this hair clip broke. And I was shooting a wedding and I remember being bummed, like, dang it, my hair clip broke. And every wedding that I've shot recently, when I need to pull my hair back, I'm like, crap, I wish I had my perfect hair clip. Guys, I don't know what this means, but maybe it's a sign of something good coming for me. I don't know, but trippy.
Okay, I'm jealous. Her favorite claw clip broke and then like repaired itself and then showed up. I mean, again, with the whole I wish my sweat sets would duplicate, I'd love it if my broken things would fix themselves. Like, it is kind of a weird like experience and kind of like jolts you and you're like, what the heck is this? And maybe makes you think you're going insane for a little bit. But in the end of the day, I think it's like a blessing in disguise. It's like you get a duplication of your favorite thing, or your favorite claw clip is no longer broken. It's no longer a problem you have to deal with. Like in a previous video, a mom whose son's soccer ball was broken, like repaired itself. It's like just the universe being mysterious and, I don't know, granting a wish that your broken things are fixed again. Manifestation, might I say. Our next TikTok is by the user StephanieAmber07.
Paranormal activity literally saved my life. If you guys know me, you'll know that I struggle with depression and I am currently doing TMS treatment for that depression. But before this, I dealt with depression my entire life. Well, one day when I was 19, I was dealing with this very bad depression and I was at a very big low. I was at work and I had essentially decided that I was going to end my subscription to breathing. At the time, I worked at an ice cream shop and I was the only person working because it was a really shitty day outside. So I had gone in, turned on the Pandora radio, and for anybody who doesn't remember Pandora radio, you can't like play certain songs or repeat songs or do any of that. After the moment that I had essentially decided to end my subscription to breathing, I kind of just thought in my head, like, why? Because I was raised religious and I had heard so many things about miracles happening, and I did believe that miracles happen for people, and I just didn't understand like why something like that couldn't happen for me, because I was trying so hard to want to live. After this thought, the song Build Me Up Buttercup came on the radio. And the song Build Me Up Buttercup is my feel-good song. It like reminds me of all of the good in the world because I volunteered at a youth group when I was younger and we did a flash mob to that song. So it like reminded me of all the purity and all the good in the world. I thought to myself, wow, like what a coincidence this song would come on if only this song could play for an hour straight, then I would be okay. And that was just a thought in my head. Immediately I realized, like, it's a Pandora radio. That's not going to happen. It doesn't repeat songs. So I just went back to cleaning an ice cream case and crying. When that song finished, the next song that came on the radio was Build Me Up Buttercup. I immediately froze because in my year and a half of working there, I had never heard a song repeat like that back to back ever. Like, I hadn't even heard the same song repeated during a shift. I kind of like got lost in the amazement of that, and I was just cleaning the case again, and I was like, wow, what an interesting coincidence. And then the song ends. The next song that comes on my life, on my dog's life, is Build Me Up Buttercup. This song continued to play for an hour straight. I watched the clock and I was freaking the fuck out. It was like in that moment I knew that there was something more, and it was listening, because that was something that I had only thought to myself in my head. I thought about every single possible explanation that there could be. I couldn't think of one single logical explanation. Like I mentioned, I knew in this moment that there was something more and that it was listening, because there was no logical explanation for how this could have happened. Like that specific song for the exact amount of time that I specified in my brain. This has never happened in the entirety of me working there. So yeah, in that moment I became very fascinated with the paranormal and I wanted answers. That's what led me down this rabbit hole, and honestly why I'm still here now.
First of all, I mean, I'm so glad that she found what she needed to make her want to continue on. And I do think it is some kind of divine intervention, some kind of, maybe not necessarily glitch, but yeah, divine intervention, some kind of universal intervention to give her a sign like, hey, yeah, you have more to do here. And I really wish everyone would have an experience like that when they're on the verge of making that decision. You know, I don't know, as cheesy as it sounds, I am a firm believer that everything gets better, that nothing stays bad permanently. As impossible as that may sound in the moment. I don't know, maybe I am also cheesy, maybe it's also my Lexapro, but I truly love life so much, and I always wish that people would stick around and that life would be amazing for them as well. I mean, if anyone's ever having thoughts like that, I promise you, like, as stupid as it sounds, as crazy as it sounds, life can always get so much better. You know, like, I haven't always been like in my best place and loving life, but it got better. And I truly believe that it can always get better, and bad things never last forever. I don't think that that's the way of the universe. And I'm so glad to hear that she got this sign, that the universe or whatever it was listened and said, hey, I'm gonna play this song for the next hour because I'm gonna freak you out and make you realize that you need to stick around because it will get better. Our next TikTok is by the user Deliana Kim.
I have a glitch in the Matrix story. So my whole life I have told people that my ears were pierced as a baby. Like, I'm half Greek, half Lebanese, so like that's really common for you to have your ears pierced when you are a newborn baby. I've told everybody my whole life. I've looked at baby photos and shown people photos of my ears pierced. Now, I was telling my mum this, like, you know, what made you pierce my ears so young? And she was like, no, I didn't. I'm like, what do you mean? No, you didn't. She's like, I never pierced your ears. You asked to get them pierced when you were like 6, and so we went and got them. And I was like, no, I didn't. I have baby photos. I proceed to get the photos out, and there are no piercings in them. Like, I know I've shown people these photos with earrings. So apparently I had them pierced when I was 6, and I have absolutely no memory of that, but I have memories from as young as 2 years old. Please explain.
This is so crazy to me because it's her. It's not like someone else where she has a memory of them maybe having their ears pierced as a baby. It's her. She has this recollection of always having her ears pierced. She has a recollection of having her ears pierced in baby photos that, you know, she may not remember the moment that photo was taken, but she remembers seeing that photo all her life. And all of a sudden, her ears weren't pierced in those photos. Also, you'd think, 6, I think my earliest memory is from like 2 or 3. And when I say earliest memory, it's like a little flash of something that I vaguely remember. But because of that, I think you'd remember at 6 years old getting your ears pierced. Like, that's a big thing. I feel like it's kind of a daunting situation. My first ear piercing, obviously I got over it because I've got like 29 now or whatever it is, but My first ear piercing was daunting, and I swore I'd never get another piercing ever again after that happened. Maybe hers necessarily wasn't as traumatic as mine was, but it's still kind of a thing you remember, you think? So it's really weird that she has this memory of her always having her ears pierced as a baby and not getting them pierced at 6 like her mom claims she did. Maybe she did jump timelines. Maybe she is in a reality where she got her ears pierced at 6, but she doesn't remember it because she came from a timeline where she had her ears pierced as a baby. I really think that that is what we're looking at here. Our next TikTok is by the user Clara L.
I am on the way to work and I just had the most unsettling experience and I need someone to explain this to me. I take the same route to work every single day or every time I work, and I'm like 15 minutes past my house. I'm on the highway. I have an hour drive. I always put it in my map so I can see if there's traffic or cops up ahead, and I'm listening to an audiobook. Like, I'm very aware of my surroundings, and I get to a point in the highway where the 3 lanes turns into 2 lanes. And the car in front of me was going really slow, and I was like annoyed because I was thinking, oh shit, I'm not going to be able to get in front of this car before the lanes turn into 2. I'm going to be stuck behind them. And then there was like a little glint of light, and I looked out my window and a plane flew in front of the sun. It was very pretty, it was shiny, and I was like, oh wow, the sun looks so cute. I wish I could take a picture, but like I'm driving and my windshield is dirty. Like, I had all these conscious thoughts. And then the lanes just keep being 3 lanes. And I'm like trying to look around the car in front of me to see when it's going to go down to 2 lanes. Because I'm like, I'm about to like have to merge. And then it doesn't merge. And there's like trees. And this part where the highway does that, there's no trees in the median. And I'm like, wait, that's weird. And then I look and there's an exit for Shore Pump, which is like an exit that I'd already passed 5 miles ago. 5 minutes ago. So I'm like, wait a second, did I like black out and take an exit? Am I going the wrong way? And I look at my maps and it says now my ETA is 6:50 instead of 6:52. So I took 2 minutes off. And I'm like, that's so weird. I just passed Shore Pump like 5 minutes ago. Like, what is going on? And then I freaked out thinking like, am I having a stroke? And I started getting really sweaty and my heart started racing. And I'm like, am I having like a medical emergency right now? I couldn't even speak. I was just like looking at the road and I became so disoriented and confused. I was like, I have absolutely no idea where I am right now, and I drive this highway every single day on the way to work. And then I see the sign for the exit, which is like a mile before the lanes become 3, and I was like, I was literally just here. And I look over and there's a plane flying in front of the sun. And the sun looks beautiful, and I thought like, okay, sun still looks really good. There's a plane up there, but I just did all this 5 minutes ago, and I somehow took 2 minutes off. And I know that I didn't exit, like I didn't. Essentially, I was somewhere, and then I somehow ended up like 5 miles behind and drove through the same thing again. And I don't know if I just drove through like a glitch in the Matrix or like a wormhole or a little timeline hop or what just happened, but it was the most unsettling thing. And it wasn't like I zoned out and didn't realize where I was. Like, I was very focused on the road, very focused on the traffic, listening to my audiobook, like very with it. I didn't zone out. I was there. I almost merged, and then I never merged, and then all of a sudden I was back. And I passed the same thing all over again, except for it was a different car in front of me. And there wasn't traffic, and I didn't get stuck behind any slow cars. And I'm so uncomfortable right now. I literally have goosebumps. I feel nauseous. Somebody explain to me what that was.
My conclusion from this is that it is some kind of burnt toast theory experience. I think maybe had she been on the route at the time where she thought she was supposed to be, I don't think that sentence really makes sense, but you probably understand what I was trying to get at there. Had she been on track with how she thought, I literally don't know how to say this sentence. Had she been at the place she thought she was supposed to be at the time she thought she was supposed to be there, you know what I mean. Maybe something bad could have happened. Maybe there would have been an accident. I really think it was some kind of burnt toast theory that she jumped backwards to avoid something catastrophic happening. Had she been at said location sooner, had she reached a certain spot in the road, maybe it was where the lanes went down to 2. Maybe it was something a little bit further ahead of that. Had she been there when she first thought she was going to be there, maybe something bad would have happened, and the universe set her back with that little plain sun moment to prevent something bad from happening to her. Our next TikTok is by the user Jor Lala.
We could not find my phone. We could not find my phone.
It was not in this area. I shit you not. I'm like, Nessa, call my phone. Okay? Ellie is my witness to this. Ellie, yes? Yes. We literally hear like this noise. We look over, my phone appears. I'm not joking you, Devin. Out of fucking thin air. It literally is here and it falls. Like, I'm not joking. It falls right there. That was the scariest thing. Like, no. On my tire? No. I don't know. I would never put a phone on your tire. Ever. Even if I was fucking wasted. It literally, no, it appeared out of fucking thin air. You saw. I saw that and I'm scared. No, literally, Nessa's like, was on her phone. I look into Ellie's eyes. We are like, did you just see that? And I shit you not, it appeared and it was just like falling. Like it literally was just like, here, down.
Seeing the phone fall from midair and land on the ground is so crazy. Literally some kind of like black hole dropping it, or some kind of time travel. Like when you see people just go whoop in the time travel and then go boop somewhere else. It's literally like the phone must have done that, which is insane to think about. I'm assuming that must be how these things happen. I feel crazy saying that, but like how else do you think said necklace gets in whatever drawer, or a cup duplicates? Like, it must just poof. I don't know. Has anyone ever witnessed it actually going poof that can confirm or deny? I guess they must have just seen what happens when things disappear and reappear. I don't know, but seeing that in real time is crazy. Our final TikTok of the video is by the user Aspiring Alchemist.
Want to hear a crazy story of something that happened to me years ago that I've still never been able to make sense of? I was sitting on this ledge right here, and this was around 2017, and I was doing a meditation. I had my headphones in, and I was just deep in meditation, and I was feeling so much gratitude and feeling so much love for life. This was right in the beginning of my shift into spirituality. Mystical things were happening. Eventually, I opened up my eyes, and I looked over here, and in that little grass patch right there, I could see something strange, and I couldn't make sense of what it was because I was way back here sitting on this ledge over here, right? And I was like trying to make sense of it. It looked like legs with hair. That's like all I can say. It looked like black hair on top of legs. And I was like, is there like a person laying down, but I'm only seeing their legs, but maybe there's another person laying opposite where their head is next to the legs. I was like trying to make sense of it, and I'm having this meditation music going in my ears the whole time, and I'm just like, it's a weird illusion. So I decide to like get a little bit closer. So I start like walking towards it a little bit more, and I'm like trying to make out what's happening. So as I get a little bit closer, I start to realize that it is a woman, and she's like almost in like a contortionist pose, right? Like right here, right on that little grass patch. It's like a woman, and something about her looks like ancient, right? I didn't think at the time like, oh, this is a ghost or this is whatever. I thought it was a real woman. And she had white tape wrapped around both of her hands, and she was in this weird, like almost contortionist pose. That's why it looked like, because her head was right next to her legs and stuff. And she was like touching the earth and doing some like deep ritual. It looked like some like deep healing for the earth or some sort of, I don't know, but something about it felt ancient, and she almost looked like, I don't know, maybe Native American or something. I couldn't make out her face. All I just saw was her like long hair draped, and she looked, something about it was just so interesting. And the whole time I've got this meditation music going in my ears too, and it's all like, oh, and I'm like watching this woman do this weird ritual. And whatever it was, she was very focused and very intense and like very like, I don't know, whatever it was, there was like a serious intention going on. And I remember being like, wow, that's really interesting, because I'm meditating right now and she's clearly in some sort of deep meditative thing as well. But I still wanted to get a better look, and there was a van parked right here, okay? So I thought to myself, I'm gonna walk this way, and I'm gonna walk around the van so that I can come around and walk by her, right? So here she is doing her weird little thing. There's nobody around at this time. There was nobody on the street. So here's this van. It was actually like a dog grooming van. So I start to walk around it, and as I walk around it, I think to myself, how funny would that be if she was gone when I walk around? Because she was right here, but I still couldn't tell like what the hell she was doing. So I walk around here, and the second I come around, boom, she's gone. There was nothing there anymore. And my heart dropped like immediately. And I was like, holy shit, what was that? And it was the craziest thing. I just like, and the meditation music was still going in my ears. It was like, oh, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? And there was no way that she could have gotten up and left that quick. Plus, she was so deep in what she was doing. It's not like she would have just stood up and ran away or like something. It was just the weirdest thing. And I still can make no sense of it. There was also a person who was in that garage right there. The garage door was open, right? And I ended up seeing this guy walking out into the garage. And I didn't tell him what I saw, but I was like, hey, did you see a person across the street there, like in the grass? And he was like, He's like, no, I've been in and out of the garage for the last 20 minutes. I haven't seen anything. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks, weird. But whatever it was, I was just like immediately was like, thank you, God, whatever that was. It just felt like something meaningful. It felt like, obviously, it was some sort of apparition. It was some sort of mystical experience that I still don't fully understand, but it felt like I was getting a glimpse of like something that's about healing and like healing the earth. And like, I was actually deep in that mode when it happened. So I take it as like a good confirmation, but I have no idea. Let me know if anyone's ever experienced anything like this.
I think what kind of pulls this whole thing together is the fact that he was listening to meditation as he's watching this woman kind of like meditate and be contortionist-y. Maybe he reached some kind of spiritual plane that he tapped into seeing this woman, whether it was residual energy of like a woman who maybe used to live there, who would always do this out in the front yard, or if it's like some, invisible is not the right word, but something that people can't normally see because it's like you have to be spiritually in tune to see it. I don't know. I'm just coming up with theories here. Maybe it was some kind of a message. Maybe it was something he was supposed to see. But the fact that he's like seeing this and she just disappears and the other guy who has been in and out this whole time has no idea what he's talking about, that'd be pretty crazy. I mean, I'd be pretty confused how I saw a literal person and then they just disappear into thin air and no one knows what I'm talking about. I think this is definitely some kind of glitch. That is it for today's video. I haven't included this many TikToks in a video in a while, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think we've gotten quite a few good stories here. Let me know your thoughts on any of them and feel free to tag me in any TikToks that you come across that you want me to include in a future Glitch in the Matrix video, a future terrifying TikToks video. My links are all down below and my TikTok username is @AbbeyStorySubmission. Please check out my TikTok and Instagram. While you're at it, I post special effects makeup content year-round on those platforms. I think if you like my kind of, spooky content over here, you'll really like my spooky-ish makeup content over there. If you guys like this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I will pop a couple suggestions on screen for you to watch next. Please click the subscribe button down below and try and post notifications so you never miss a video. I post every Sunday, most Wednesdays, but again, let me know if I should switch from Wednesdays to any other day that you guys would prefer. The world is your oyster. Let me know what you'd like. At 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.